Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hell Not Hangout. This is episode 7, I believe. At the time of recording this, episode 6 still hasn't been uploaded. Shout out my editor. But we're gonna keep going anyways, and maybe you guys will get like a double episode week or something, or we'll just keep building up episodes and releasing them periodically, I guess. So today I have the homie Nick with me, or Stainless, and I have Christian from last week, or Jutsu. So the first, make sure if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rating, subscribe, and share it with your friends. People on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share that with your friends as well. Also leave us comments and for topic ideas whenever you guys want. Tweet any of us. You're always looking forward to people requesting certain topics, and then also always make sure you're following me on Twitter, preferably I usually do it on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll tweet out when we're accepting questions, and you can leave us questions in there for us to answer during the Q&A portion of the podcast, which we do every single episode. We usually pick the best 5 questions just so the segment doesn't really draw out that long, but we always look forward to answering people's questions. I know that's my personal favorite part of the podcast, so yeah, make sure you're doing that. All right, boys, so first topic, I believe it was last Thursday. Was that when the reveal was?
Yeah.
So Modern Warfare multiplayer reveal finally happened. I know a lot of people had a lot of expectations for it. I personally was really nervous because this year I think is honestly like make or break, at least for the competitive side of Call of Duty, with franchises coming up and everything. So I was really nervous. I really wanted. We've discussed this before in like previous episodes, but like I sort of just wanted a COD that like is universally like throughout each like subsection of the COD community. So like your trolling section, your snipers, your competitive, different things like that. It's been a while since we've had a COD where every single like subsection of the community was like really satisfied with the game. So I'm really hoping for that this year, and honestly think the multiplayer reveal sort of accomplished that. Like I haven't seen many people complain at all. Like the biggest complaint I've seen is like from people that like to hate on COD, and they were saying like, "Oh, this is Battlefield," when they showed like the big ground war mode or whatever. But other than that, I didn't see many people like complaining about it. Like I feel like everybody was satisfied. I personally was satisfied. So what did y'all think?
I thought it did the job for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it showed what we can expect at a base level. And it's also a very early build, obviously, so there's also things that they announced today, like score streaks being a perk.
Yeah.
And specialist streaks also being in the game that weren't in that build.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also, I've watched a lot post the stream, a lot of videos from people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like everyone has the same good things about the game, the same medium ground things about the game, and the same things they all hate about the game.
Mm-hmm.
So if they actually take the feedback that the people that they invited out and paid to come test their game, if they actually take their feedback and implement it and take our feedback from the beta,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, is it 2 weeks of the beta? Or is
Yeah, because the first week is what, PS4 only,
PlayStation, yeah.
and then after that they do the crossplay beta, which the crossplay beta is going to be big, and I'm expecting like bugs, and I'm expecting it not to work, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Like as long as when the game comes out, like it works like seamlessly. Yeah. That's my biggest thing.
As long as they take our feedback from the beta, which the main thing I think everyone's concerned about is the mini map.
Mm-hmm. What do y'all think about that?
I didn't want it. I think there should be a mini map. Just not even for the like the dots, just for like the map, because it shows the map on the mini map, and it shows new players like buildings and stuff. And there's already, I learned today, I didn't know this, but have y'all seen the compass at the top of the screen?
Like I heard it was up there.
You know, in BRs there's a compass at the top
with numbers and stuff.
Yeah, there's one of those in multiplayer. Red dots, they'll show up on that when people shoot. It's not even like they removed the mini map for red dot chasers. You can still red dot chase from the compass at the top. The only thing you're taking out the mini map does is taking out the actual layout of the map for new players and people who want to know where their teammates are to see.
But isn't there something? Then they said like teammates are gonna like.
You can see it. They're gonna make where you can see them through walls like rainbow.
So kind of like CODcaster in a way.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna be CODcaster where you can see your teammates through walls.
Okay, that'll be interesting. I don't know. Like me personally, like The mini map has always been a staple in COD, and I'm always down for change, especially if it comes with
I'm
like,
interested to like play with it and see how it plays.
yeah. As long as it always comes like with the reason, right? So like I saw that they were saying, the people that were there were saying that the devs were telling them they implemented that change to sort of cater to like newer players per se, and made like the skill gap a little smaller, because the mini map is like a big part of COD. Like if you don't know how to read it, if you don't know how to interpret it, like you're gonna be below some other players, right?
AKA Knob Stomper.
Yeah,
That's probably the deal breaker for them.
yeah, but at the same time, I think in competitive, like I think honestly it'd be dope, like to have communication be even more like important. Like you can't see the minimap anymore. You have to literally tell your teammates, all right, he's in this corner right here. He's and in this part of the building, not just in the building, and they can see
Like
the
whenever
dot
you
on the
get
map.
zero hacked, like you get
Yeah,
hacked by zero, your communication has to
be ramped up.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
just gonna be the whole game.
right. So I'm all down for it. I think they'll end up putting it back just because a lot of people are complaining about it, which the COD community does when anything like changes. So I think they'll probably implement it back, but I know like for me personally, if they didn't, I really wouldn't care. At least, especially since I haven't played the game yet. That's always my biggest thing is like if you haven't had time to sit down and like really try a feature, like there should be no way that you can really sit and like complain about it when you haven't really tried it.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing
If
too.
they do put the meme out back, it'll only be in public instead of competitive.
Oh no, I think the opposite. Yeah, I think the opposite.
As of right now,
Because competitive players are the main people complaining about the no mini map thing, whereas like pub players are like, I mean, yeah, the mini map is like it should be there, but it's not.
They don't use it as well as it can be used.
So it's not as much of like a deal breaker per se. But in the competitive community, especially like I said before, anything that changes, like people already like get a gripe about it. So I definitely think if they do put it in, it'll be like strictly for competitive. And I know so back to what you said, they announced like the specialist perks or whatever. Like, do you think that those are going to be implemented in competitive? Because the last time we had those, it was in Modern Warfare 3.
Right?
No, it was Modern Warfare 3.
Ghost.
Ghost had specialist ones?
Yeah, Ghost. Yeah, that's what people used in Ghost because you couldn't. I think they banned all the kill streaks in Ghost. You use specialist streaks.
Really?
Yeah.
Specialist streaks
I remember playing 8. Use those.
So just so I'm on the right track, like specialist streaks are the ones with the perks, right?
Yeah, you get perks when you get kill streaks.
People use that in Combat Ghost?
Yeah.
I thought they had streaks.
Yeah, I could have.
They use specialist streaks. I swear, I played 8s when we played 8s in that throwback tourney a few months ago.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch, bro.
If you like watch, it'll show it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch some Ghosts today. But so you do think they're gonna be like allowing that in comp?
I think it just depends on how strong the actual kill streaks are. Because a lot of people are complaining about the streaks being too slow to call in. Because they changed it. You don't bring up like a map.
Yeah.
To call in airstrikes, you actually have to pull out a pair of binoculars, go over and look at where you want to call on your streaks, and it like pings it, and then the streak comes in.
Yeah. I mean, it's realistic, right?
I mean, it is realistic, but it's like different, and it's like you're just exposing yourself.
Yeah.
Because the way I saw it was, if you're a competitive player calling in streaks, and you're looking at the area you want to streak, you would just take that gunfight.
Yeah.
Instead of streaking it. Like the whole point of streaks in, like, say, Black Ops 4, let's say on frequency, if you want to streak the back of Orange Hill, it's because you can't take those gunfights easily.
Yeah.
You want to streak that so you can get in there. I'm looking at it and I don't want to take these gunfights.
So I'm sure all the streaks aren't like that though, right?
No, like the Predator missile, you like pull up an iPad and.
Right, and Predator missile is like a staple competitive streak. So I mean, as long as all of them are like that, then it'll be fine. I think they probably made. Yeah, they probably made like the really good ones like that just to like sort of have not a counter but like a downside to using it. Like that's understandable.
I feel like they're doing that with a lot of stuff. They're like giving things like a plus and then a downside to it.
Yeah, which is good, really good for competitive. Because there's some stuff that literally has no downfall. At least in Black Ops 4, for instance, like Doc 2 or I know we don't use those, but like double grip on the ICR. Like there's no downside to it.
Doc 2 might be back if you're talking to Tim.
Good God. But yeah, I think it's good that they're trying to give everything a downside. I thought the weapon customization, like the emphasis they're putting on that.
I'm most excited to try out the gunsmith. That looks so cool.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see like how it all pans out, and I really hope like every year I get my hopes up that competitive Call of Duty will have like variation in what people use, and like I'm always the guy that's like willing to try new stuff when it comes to attachments and guns and stuff. Yeah, MX9. I had a stint with that before I gave up. I had a stint with the Silent Sog and S&D. I was using that for a good little minute. I was fine with it, bro. I'm telling you, there's Adam.
I remember watching you with the MX9. I was losing full.
Yeah, I can't use that gun anymore, bro. It just I can't. Now Adam actually has a clip of me clutching with the Silent Sog, and it's actually like it wasn't bad at all. Like I don't know why I started using it.
The Sog because you use your fast mags or grip.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything's the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted variation, like where every game we see something different. Like each team has a different meta per se. But I think it's always going to come down to people think like, okay, well, this is what's best. So I saw them using this and it looked really good, so I'm going to use it too.
It's literally just going to be like if someone super fries at an event,
yeah,
they're going to look at their class and be like, well, he used this class and he dropped a 1.7 KD.
Right.
We're all going to use that class.
Right.
I'm sure at some point it'll get figured out what's the best, but
yeah,
first event will probably be interesting.
I would just love for there to be like attachments based on roles, right? So like you have your person that's like really aggressive, likes to flank a lot, like if they can run like silencer on an SMG and run around and like have free roam, you know. And then you have like something like stabilizer for your person that's like watching crosses and stuff and trying to like get across and it's nice stuff like that.
I think it's cool how you can take a gun that's an AR, cut the stock, shorten the barrel, and make it a sub.
Yeah. So
I think the gunsmith is also going to be kind of cool for the CCL because people might run crazy shit.
Yeah,
it's not like the best because people just do their own thing.
Yeah, I think the CCL has a lot of like lower level players, so like I think the variation is always a little better for us. Like at the beginning of the season, for instance, like you had Austin from when he was on Ole Miss, he used to always use the what's that gun, the Spitfire.
Yeah, Spitfire.
Yeah.
There was somebody that always used it in first hill frequency. He always used a Spitfire.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Was he on? Was him?
Yeah. He used to always use that on that
All
map.
the UTK kids that try out use fast mad saw or Maddoxes.
Yikes. Yeah, he I think that'll be like a really, really like good part of the game. Were there any other like highlights like for y'all that y'all really enjoyed?
It looks good.
Yeah, I didn't even say that. Like it looked really pretty. Like it like a really like.
If you turn off the there's double motion blur.
Oh god.
And film grain.
Oh yikes.
And there's background blur.
What in the world?
You turn all 4 of those settings off.
They're trying to make it look real, huh?
Yeah, they said like, there's a motion blur, weapon blur, background blur, and film grain. Yeah, Drifter said he just turned all of them off, and it was fine.
Yeah, I'm about to say those will be getting turned off first day.
Yeah, there's 4 different types of aim assist.
4 different types.
Yeah, it's like basic aim assist, no aim assist, and there's 2 other ones that are like new. There's like super aim assist, and then like another one.
So everybody about to have aimbot.
What's the point?
Yeah, there was like 4 aim assist options in the build that they played at the event.
That's a yikes for me, dog.
And they also removed ADS sensitivity, like how your ADS sensitivity is separate from your base sensitivity.
Oh, they removed that?
Wasn't in the build that they played.
Well, they'll probably add that back. I guarantee you.
That's what I think they'll add back.
Yeah, they'll add back. For me, like like what you said, it looked really pretty. I liked every gun seemed to like play how like the class should. So like ARs were getting smoked by subs up close. Subs didn't really stand that much of a chance from super far distances. Like that's, I feel like that's how COD should be, and that's what it's lacked.
Product of the recoil in this game.
Yeah, like all the guns, like they all have their own like recoil patterns, right?
It's predictive recoil again, but it's like this is the most recoil like any COD has ever had.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely a good thing, especially depending on how the competitive scene is going to be set up, because we still don't know if it's PC, PS4, or whatever. So if PC players are going to be allowed on comp, then I think the recoil is a necessity, because I cannot imagine seeing somebody swipe a mouse and keyboard with another stock 2 situation where the gun doesn't move. That would be terrible. So the gunplay looked really good to me. The only thing I was sort of disappointed that they did, well, 2 things I guess. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get they didn't announce anything for cosmetics, because cosmetics have become like a favorite part of COD for me at this point. Like the camos.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing Black Ops 4 sort of did really well. Like, I really love the reactive camos that they implemented in this game. I think
they have the reactive, what are the animated emblems are back.
Yeah.
Like the emblems that move, those are coming back.
And also, did you see the today they announced like the Tamagotchi things?
Yeah, it's on
like
your wrist,
pets,
on your watch. Yeah.
And it like they said like when you're doing really well, it reacts like positively, like it gets excited. But if you start playing bad,
about that.
They said if you start playing bad, it'll like run you down. It dies.
He said as you get strings of kills, you're like you feed the thing. But if you start getting like smoked, it'll eventually die.
That is tough.
If you just like you're not like if you feed it by getting kills, so if you're just getting smoked all the time, it will like eventually die, and I guess you'll get a new one when you start doing better.
Oh, see, Charlie Intel leaked it, and they were talking about how like they said that it'll talk trash to you like if you start doing bad.
I heard that too. Yeah,
so that'd be pretty. That's actually dope.
About to be screaming.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I think that's gonna be actually really funny.
It's gonna be the point of having a Tamagotchi though.
Huh?
It's just like a cosmetic thing.
It's just
thing. It goes on like your wrist, like close to your watch.
On your watch.
Yeah. So I think that'll be.
I hope they have great maps.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's biggest wish because we haven't had like a solid like map set in so long. Like there's every year there's been a map where I'm just like, bro, like I don't want to play this. Like this year's been Gridlock. I hate that map, and I don't.
My favorite CODs are the ones with the great maps, like MW3 and 2,
and they're completely redoing how they make maps now, so that'll be.
Yeah. So like the 3-lane like setup has always been. Like it's been good while it's lasted, but I do think it's time to sort of revamp that and change it up a little bit. Like 3 lanes is cool and all, but like I like variety. I like being able to go different places in S&D. Like I don't like, all right, what lane are we hitting? Like it's literally, all right, we're going A, we're going B, or we're going mid. That's literally every Black Ops 4 play call.
You see that one S&D game where the bomb site has a random spawn?
Oh, the new game mode?
It's like I think it's either in S&D or in that cyber attack mode.
Yeah, cyber attack. That's what it is.
3 possible places that the bombs can be.
Mm-hmm.
So every like round, the bombs like can spawn at a different point.
Yeah, I did see that. That's gonna be interesting.
That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know if that'll be in comp.
I think that cyber attack mode looks cool though.
I thought it looked good. Yeah, I would be down to play that, but I can't speak for the whole community. I guess I didn't really look into like how the community reacted to that game mode, like in particular. So I don't really know, but I would be down to play it. There's not many game modes that I wouldn't be down to play, but I think we have a question about that earlier. Yeah, I think we have a question about that, so I'm gonna say my opinions on the map set. But yeah, cosmetics is like a big thing, like character skins and stuff like that. Like I'm always interested in. And then secondly, like I was sort of, which I can't say like I expected them to, because they never really do. But I really wanted like some kind of like intel on the esports side of things. Like show me what.
Do that till after champs.
Yeah, show me what COD Caster looks like. Show me something. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. I think like we need to get to the point like if we want COD esports to be taken like seriously and to give it exposure, and then like why not implement something about esports into the actual multiplayer reveal and let the casual players know like there is this side of Call of Duty that you might not know about, you know, and give it extra exposure. And I feel like
didn't they just have an esports reveal for this year? Like later on, they just had like their own shows. Like here's COD Caster, here's
because that's when they announced like because I remember we were in school when that happened. Like I was literally in class.
5v5 or something.
Yeah, they announced 5v5. They announced like how much the prizing was going to be throughout the entire year. Yeah. So they've been doing that like the
they might probably do that again. Honestly, maybe have like an exhibition thing like an E-League or something.
Mm-hmm. But I just wish it was like more ingrained into the actual multiplayer reveal. Like I don't think it should be.
We have to have team camos next year.
I mean, with franchise
dropping the ball with that. Like, if they want to promote the franchise leagues, like Overwatch does the same things. If you watch the Overwatch League, you get tokens that you can spend in the game and get Overwatch League skins.
Yeah, I have like Houston Outlaws, everything in Overwatch. So, like,
they just need to do that.
Yeah.
And also, if you donate to the stream, you get more tokens for the game.
Mm-hmm. I think like
it doesn't make it. I don't know why they didn't do it.
So my biggest thing for the comp scene is like. Number one, if they're charging $25 million for like franchise spots, there is no way that the pro players shouldn't be playing for like $5 million every. I don't know if they're gonna have major. No, I don't think they have major events.
Probably
it's like a long
splits
season
or something.
Yeah, so like $5 million per split. Like, there's actually no way you can be charging 25 million and them not. If they announce a $1 million prize pool for the whole year again, I'm actually gonna lose full. There's actually no way.
What's the Overwatch League prize pool? Is there a prize pool for Overwatch League?
I think there is. I'm pretty sure like every split might have its own prize. Yeah.
Because I'm basing everything off of Overwatch League.
Watch prize.
That's what I'm familiar with and what they're probably gonna go off of.
Overwatch League's 2019 season officially kicked off on Thursday. 8 new teams joined $5 million prize pool. So yeah. And,
yeah, but those
are
entries for Overwatch League for like
cheaper.
10 mil.
Yeah, see, it's cheaper
like 5
than
to 10 for Overwatch League.
So maybe that's a justification of why they're making it $25 million to get in. Maybe like they're trying to
prize pool.
Yeah, maybe they're going for the shock factor of having a bigger prize pool than the Overwatch League. Which would be big going into the first season. But it's also to note that I think the COD League is confirmed only gonna have like 12 teams.
Yeah, it's 12 league spots.
Yeah, they finally announced
Spencer's trying to buy one.
Really?
He said that on the eavesdrop today. He's trying to get a league spot.
I saw the
He said I'm trying to get a league spot. I don't know if he meant playing or owning. It sounded like it could be owning, but it might just mean he's trying to come back and play.
I don't know. I don't think he needs to play at this point, bro.
He don't.
Yeah,
So
but I also don't think he could afford a league spot.
With these 12 teams, will there be like, little AM teams that can also compete with them?
I'm thinking
it would be like a contenders league.
Yeah, they'll have like academy teams, right? So like in Overwatch, and I think League of Legends does it too. Like so like in League of Legends, 100 Thieves has like a main like starting roster for the LCS, and then they also have like an academy team that's below them that they can pull players from.
It's like a feeder team.
Right, they can pull players from. So like if a player isn't playing a role like they should be, they can pull those players up into the starting position, as well as like bring players back down and put them on an academy team, so you don't just like drop
the minor
them.
leagues in baseball.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Those actual teams.
Yeah.
Like bench warmers, and then you got the starting five.
Yeah,
no, it's like it's the bench players that get to play in a league of their own, basically.
Yeah, well, if they have a contenders league, I can't see them really doing that for COD, to be honest. But there's also like so I learned this from J Pro. I think me and you talked about this before, Christian, that like they're in their contract, like each org has to have their own. They have to throw their own like locals, right? So like.
The Homestead things from Overwatch?
Yeah, exactly. So like Dallas Fuel does like tournaments in Texas. Like they had a collegiate one a couple years ago called OP Dallas Live, and I know Ole Miss, MSU, like a lot of schools went to that. So it'll be the same thing for like the COD orgs, which I think would be really big for
going to Atlanta.
Right, and then like you get even in stuff like London. Now London has like a consistent like amateur tournaments to go to. I think that'd be really dope. I also think it'll be really good exposure for COD talent like across the country. Like you don't have to travel to California to compete at a quote unquote major. Like those are our majors. The ones in Atlanta, the ones in Texas. I think that'd be really dope. But yeah, I think we're in a pretty good year, bro. I'm excited. I saw like I said, I didn't see any like really terrible like negative feedback. Okay, so you said in the videos that you saw, Nick, that there were some bad so what were like some of the bad things that people were saying?
A lot of it was very consistent. Everyone's number one was the mini map. Number two was what are they gonna do with microtransactions, because they aren't talking about it.
Oh, okay.
They said they were gonna have
there's no season pass, but we don't know what they're gonna do with like supply drops and crates.
I've never really like minded like cosmetic microtransactions, because it's like you don't have to buy it, and it doesn't give you an advantage in game.
When they put guns in the crates, it's just kind of like, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah. Another thing was everyone hated the 20 versus 20 mode.
Was it too hectic?
No, it was too slow.
Really?
Because there's no mini map. Everyone's camping.
You're on a huge.
You're on a giant. It's like 20 versus 20 has their own maps.
Oh,
that are like
okay. I didn't know that.
Selfie maps. Maybe they said. I think Drifter said they're like, not. They're like they feel bigger than Battlefield maps. You know how Battlefield maps are like in stages, kinda. And then so it's like, but it's just open.
Yeah.
There's no mini map, but they have ATVs around that you can drive to get around the map quicker.
I did see that.
You can't use them if you have trigger stops.
Huh?
because you use R2 to
To accelerate.
gas, and if you have trigger stops, you can't go full speed, so you're just like crawling.
That's
And
tough.
they don't drive well apparently.
Mm.
They said it's just real slow, and you're getting shot in the back a lot. And it's just like, I think they played 20v20 TDM. They didn't even play Dom. So it's just like,
well,
40 people running around killing each other for.
I feel like you also gotta like think that like, and in situations like that, you're playing with a bunch of content creators that don't want to look bad, so nobody's gonna be running out in the open like trying to smoke people. But like when it comes to like putting the game in the hands of like the general public, people aren't gonna be. You're gonna have your campers. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, you're gonna have your campers. Don't get me wrong, but like it won't be as campy. I don't feel like because nobody's really trying like that hard. You know.
Yeah.
Also, another thing to go along with the comp thing, I really wish they would announce something about league play. I think that's an issue that like a lot of the past CODs have had is like, you don't announce anything with league play ahead of time. Let us critique that system that you have and tell you what we want, and then you can fix it. Like, I feel like they wait until the last second. They'll tell anybody how they're doing it, and then when it comes around, it's like, oh, we don't like this, and then they do nothing about it.
And they don't drop it until 3 months after the release.
I will be so well. I see for this game I couldn't be too mad only because we didn't have rule set. And I don't blame that on the developer. I blame that on like the COD World League and the pro players, right? And so that's another thing. So
you gotta have a rule set like day one.
Yeah. So a rule set.
If I go to another tournament without the rule set, I'm gonna be so mad.
I just like. It would be so much more simple to me if we had like base things that are always banned in every COD, and then wait, we didn't even think about that. What if we go back to pick and ban, like with all the attachments coming out and stuff?
There's no way you'd have to have like 5 bans for each player to ban all those attachments and.
But I feel like if it's map and role dependent, then I think you can still do it. Or even if you can't ban attachments, like ban a there was a lot of attachments to ban in VO3.
Attachments don't take up creator class slots now. You can just have as many attachments as you want.
They probably won't be included in pick and ban.
It's not pick 10. You get a gun, a secondary, a nade, a tactical, and 3 perks.
Well, yeah, they probably won't even. If they did do pick and ban, it probably wouldn't even be.
I don't think there will be pick and ban. They want to keep it like old COD, where you just get everyone has the same number of equipment, same number of weapons.
I don't know.
I mean, like there's like perks we know will be banned, like tracker, overkill will be banned,
and then like you have your base streaks.
Will probably be banned.
Yeah, you also have like your base streaks, like UAV we know won't be allowed. If there's an RC card, depending on how overpowered it is, it might or might not be allowed. I don't know. I just wish that like either way, even if they are like taking their time to ban stuff, like it should not take that long. Like,
I think it's also like they had to try everything, like they had to play with everything for long enough.
Right.
Like, because like after the rule set came out, we were allowed to use car and dart.
Yeah.
And then we realized you die in one hit with flak with the car, so we better get rid of it.
Okay, and then that's my thing. Like, okay, invite the pro players, which I hate. I hate the idea of that because sometimes pro players, like as we've seen, especially this year, go overboard with like what they decide to get rid of.
It also depends on what pros you invite out.
Right. So it's like invite the pros out before the game releases. Let them test out everything and see what's overpowered, what they think is overpowered, what shouldn't be allowed, and like how the rule said day one. Like I don't think it's like super hard. It's just that nobody's taking the time out to think these things out and actually do it, right? But as we said before,
it's also like their off season too, though. It's like
but I don't think any pro would turn down a chance to show up and test the game, right?
They could also do something with it, like just throw a tournament, have like this exhibition tournament with all the pros from the last pro league. Just bring their teams from the last pro league, whether they're together still or not. Just throw a little tournament, let them test stuff out, and stream it.
Yep. The General Republic can get some, takes on that too.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a rule said like I wouldn't put it past them to do that just because with franchising everything changes, and I think like we all
take it serious.
Right. I think we all get the urgency of like how important this year is for competitive COD, and I think the developers like have felt that as well. Like if you charge, like I said, once again $25 million for an entry spot to the league and it's not good, people are gonna like say something to you about it. So I think they probably understand the urgency of this season. Hopefully they do, and they take it seriously. So last thing, I had a question. So like if they, you know how in it wasn't it wasn't this last game. It was the game for like they bring back like sometimes they bring back old maps. Like if
IW.
they
brought back like Strike Zone and.
So they bring back like
one.
any Infinity Ward like maps from previous games. What are like 3 that y'all would want to see?
Terminal. Terminal's got to be number 1.
I want Resistance from MW3. I don't know if y'all remember that map, but I really like that map.
Yeah. I want to say
I like Afghan.
From
you know that map.
Modern Warfare 2, Afghan, the desert map with the plane in the middle, all the trick shotters would jump
oh
off.
nah, bro, that's too big.
That's the worst map.
That's too big,
map.
brother.
I love that map. Bro.
I like the cave area and the bunker area,
It's
but
not
other than
too big
that,
for
it's
10
too
versus
big,
10.
bro.
Yeah, I remember
the
the map
competitive.
with it was like a little tunnel, and it was like a little construction site on MW3.
I didn't play MW3 much.
No,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think
Yeah.
I can't. Was it Skyrise?
Nah, that's not.
No, High Rise is
High
in
Rise,
High Rise
High
is
Rise.
Warfare 2. I want High Rise to come back.
High Rise would be cool.
I love High Rise. Terminal is okay. I don't think it'll be a good comp.
We haven't said any
map.
COD 4 maps.
I didn't really play COD 4 like that, bro.
Crash maybe. Crash is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You got arcade in
From
that mall, MW3, I think.
oh,
Yeah,
I think I
Arcade's
do remember
gonna
that.
be
Yeah, that was dope.
That's the mall, yeah.
Yeah, I like that map.
You got. Well, I don't know about Dome. Dome is okay.
Ghost
Sounds
is
alright.
Infinity War. I would like.
I like Strike Zone. I like Strike Zone.
I don't think Strike Zone work at 5v5 though. It was already hectic at 4v4. You bring back 5v5. Yikes.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to think of another
Octane's
Ghost
kinda
map.
big.
Yeah, I like Octane. Octane's pretty good. I like how you can watch crosses and stuff on that map. I would say, what's the one that has like the control tower and stuff up there? It's like it's an inside map. I can't think of it. It's like a factory kinda in Ghost.
Oh yeah,
Sovereign. Yeah,
Sovereign.
yeah. I really like
That's a good
Sovereign.
one.
I wouldn't
I
mind
was,
making that.
I was about to say Throwback from Infinite Warfare.
Oh god, I didn't play
my
IW,
map.
so I don't know if there's any.
Throwback.
Wait, Throwback is the one. Is it the one that has like the what's the map that has a long
It has
street?
It has the baseball field, the street with the bridge over it.
Okay, and it has
and
like
the
the
barn.
subway. The subway,
Yeah,
like the
that's
okay, yeah,
Throwback.
okay. What's
I
the
really like that map.
what's the map that has like the really long like street, and like the cars and stuff next to it?
Retaliation.
Maybe, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's
that always is
Retaliation.
like a
Got
good
the long
map.
street with the bike market with the street is where Damon hit the camo play from Top Balk, slid on Arcity's defusing bomb at Atlanta.
Yeah,
So Retaliation, I think.
I didn't play it, but that always like the clips I've seen that always is like a really good map and like a
That
fun
map's
map to
good.
play.
IW had some good maps.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. I
But
think
they
it'll
had
be
to
good.
rechange them all because of wall running. Like Retail has like 4 wall run spots.
Well, yeah, I'm excited. I think the game looks really good. I'm excited to get my hands on. When's the beta drop?
15th.
It's September 20.
September 15th.
15th, yeah.
What you mean 2 weeks then?
Tripping.
Man, it can't count.
That's when school starts. I'm tripping, bro.
It's in 2 weeks.
Got more than a month to go.
But I think it'll be dope. I need I want to pre-order it and get my beta code, bro, but I don't know what to pre-order it on because
I'm just gonna pre-order on PS4 because I don't have a PC.
that might be the safe bet at this point because if the PS4 is still getting exclusive content like the beta,
I think it's gonna be. I think this year is on PS4 and next year it will be PC.
well, we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it on PS4. To be honest, I think that's the easiest thing you can go with right now, just to keep like the core COD community like on one accord. If you change it to PC, like you're gonna lose a lot of the core pro players and stuff that a lot of people are grown to love, and that's dangerous to do. Like completely change the personalities we know and love. Like the inaugural season is like a really, really like that's a really troublesome.
I think with crossplay, it's like not as dangerous where you get it right now. It's like if let's say the game comes out and it's like, oh shit, we're on PC, I can play with PC people on PS4.
Yeah.
Until I can buy a PC.
Right. Yeah. I guess it's just like
I was gonna pre-order on PS4 whenever I get paid.
I probably will too. Then
Hey Adam.
Yeah.
If they do announce it, they should at least announce it way before time so people can, get ready to buy a PC.
Or they just announce it late and be like, I got 120 off you.
Yeah, that's true.
Buy it twice.
I don't know.
Like on the Nintendo Switch.
I don't think it'll completely switch to PC, and if it does, I think, like I said before, it'll be like controllers only. Kind of like how we talked about the NBA 2K League, sort of how they do it. So I don't know. I think we're in for a good year. I'm excited. So make sure you guys go out and uh pre-order the game, get your beta codes, or you can do like some other people go on Twitter and just finesse beta codes. If
Tony
you
got
want to
one.
Really?
Yeah, Tony got one off Twitter. He just tweeted a picture of him redeeming it.
Yeah, and that's really all. You can literally finesse beta codes off people on Twitter, to be honest with you. So
if I get, how many do you get if you pre-order one, or you get 5?
probably
Like you used to?
Probably 3. I know like a lot of games have been doing 3 recently.
If you pre-order it digitally, do they still email you the beta code, or is it just like
a lot of times if you do it digitally, you get your beta code quicker than if you go to the store and buy it. Because like I know for BO4, for instance, everybody that bought it digitally, like they were getting their beta codes.
You just downloaded the beta. You didn't even have to get a code. You just went to the store and
I literally waited like an extra 3-4 hours.
You could pre-install it. You could install it early, so when it dropped, you could just launch it. You didn't have to download anything.
I think the only reason I even still like buy physical copies is because like I have the GameStop like Power Up Awards Pro thing that I paid for, and so I need to make use of it and get my points. That's the only reason.
Points. That's where I buy all my pops.
Oh God.
I use my pro card every other day.
So I guess moving on to a more serious topic, I want to start off this segment by saying we all give our condolences to all the people affected in Dayton, Ohio, and El Paso, Texas. This past week was really rough when it came to mass shootings, and so when it's crazy because like when it happened, the first one in El Paso, like I remember going to sleep and I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and we were talking about how like it's such like a normal thing like in American society. Like you see a hashtag of a city on Twitter, like you already know like what happened. That's like terrible, right? And then like literally I went to sleep, woke up the next morning like at like 4 in the morning, checked Twitter again, and there goes Dayton, and I'm like, dude, like what is going on, right? And so usually when these things happen, I know we have a lot of Canadian listeners, and if we have anybody else around the world listening, like I guess it's sort of hard to put into words like how normalized it is in American society. But for instance, I don't know if y'all saw this video on Twitter, but there was a video of, I forgot where it was, but like a truck or something like backfired like in the street, like in
New York.
And like people started panicking, bro. Like that is crazy to think. Like
somebody was passed out on the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's crazy to think like an entire like country can have like PTSD from something we haven't even experienced because like it happens so frequently, right? And so usually like when it happens, these things are sort of just like blown over, like people get their thoughts and prayers and like nothing really like changes or happens, right? And so I thought it would be an instance of where okay, yeah, it just blows over, like people will have their their back and forth like debates on what should change, but nothing is gonna happen through legislation, right? And then all of a sudden I start seeing a lot of like politicians talking about like FPS games and how they're to blame, and I'm like, bro, like
that's crazy.
Like what? Like what? And the thing is, like I never even saw anything like with the 2 shooters in particular. Like I could be wrong, but I didn't see anything about them like playing video games or anything. Like I think it literally came out of nowhere, like out of the blue moon, as like a scapegoat. Like people saying that like the way video games like glorify killing people and stuff like that. And it's like, to me, in my opinion, it's like if your kid is that mentally unstable that they can't play a video game and know that you're not supposed to do that kind of stuff in real life, there's a reason they have a rated M for mature label on that game, right? And I think it's just a case of like, if you're gonna put video games on the forefront and use us as a scapegoat, then you also have to include bad parenting. And like I said, once again, if you know your kid can't handle that kind of stuff, why are you buying them that game? Why are you letting them play that game?
It's not the video game fault. They literally warning us. Like,
right. There's literally, like I said, a reason that there's a warning label on it, like for that very reason. You know what I mean?
There's a reason like GameStop tells you that. Like I got ID'd the other day for buying Warfare, and I'm 21 years old.
Right, and like that might be like annoying to us, but at the end of the day, it's like that's a good thing, and I think it should continue to happen. So I guess
like a lot of places are getting better at that too. Like, making sure people know what's in the game though. Like I think I was in GameStop the other day, and this like kid tried to buy GTA 5, and the clerk was like explaining to his parent everything that was in the game, what you can do, and was basically talking. He's like, "Do not buy this. Like, don't buy your kid this game."
Yeah. And that's a good thing. Like, and not to say like if your kid is mature enough to handle it, then by all means, you know, like
yeah.
Luckily, I was like blessed enough to have parents that trusted me, and like I had a really good mindset, and I knew right from wrong. I knew like just because I played Modern Warfare 2 and like I was Captain Price doesn't mean I needed to go out and start smoking people like Captain Price in real life. You know what I mean? And so
shooting airports.
I like
like I literally played the no Russian mission. And I was like, wow, this is wrong. I probably shouldn't do this.
like,
I'm
when I
just
was like
shooting
starting
people.
out, they were like my parents like built me up by games. Like I started out with like no gun, like no games with guns, and I could play Halo because you were shooting aliens.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's how I was like, okay, you can play Halo.
Yeah.
Then I played Modern Warfare 2, but you know how you could turn off the
graphic
content and it would skip no Russian.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, if you turn off the graphic content in Modern Warfare 2, it just skips no Russian.
Like, I feel like that's reasonable, bro, because that like
it skips it, then you do the next one.
Yeah, because I guess like for me when I was younger and I played that mission, like I didn't really understand like the gist of what was going on. And granted, back then like mass shootings weren't so ingrained like in our culture, so I guess it wasn't as big of a deal back then.
Like if that mission came out today,
it would be chalked. Like there's no way they would get away with that. And it's like
it went viral like last year or 2 years ago, didn't it? Though?
Yeah, because people were bringing it up this year because they were saying they were gonna make this campaign as like edgy, and dark as that mission was, and people were like, there's certain stuff that there's no way they could get away with. But I think like the developers are smart enough to know what they can and can't get away with, right? Like you can still make stuff dark without having like a whole scene about a mass shooting. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be fine. But I just like I just really don't understand like where the context of like I said, I don't know where the blame came from. It was just so random to me, like that politicians just decided to start coming for video games.
Lately, since the World Cup, like Fortnite's been in the news a lot. Everyone's already talking about games.
Yeah.
And then like this happens at the same time as like the Fortnite talk, is then like Fortnite's exploding.
Yeah.
Like everything's like kind of building up.
Yeah.
And it's just like
they legit
people draw correlations to stuff they don't understand.
Yeah. But see, and then the thing is, like, people don't understand that those types of things have like actual ramifications on like people's like gaming lives. For instance, like our friend Jack, he's been on the podcast before. He goes to, he's the vice president of Butler Esports at Butler University, and like they actually cut out like FPS games like already. Like they said, FPS games are chalk. Like if you want to play in an FPS league, you can't represent our esports organization, and that's like wild to think about. Like just that quick. How quick like an esports organization decided, okay, like we're not doing this anymore because of the things that people are saying about video games, like that quick. Like I know for me, like so last year we had the inaugural esports egg bowl, and at first they did not want us to play CS:GO, COD, Rainbow Six Siege, any realistic like FPS game. Like they were like, no, we're not doing it. Like we had to literally sit there and like argue back and forth. Like I sat at a table with like heads of departments, like in like heated arguments, saying like you cannot have an esports like event without these staple esports games. Like it just doesn't happen that way. And I think people really need to realize that like pushing a narrative of esports causing or FPS games causing violence has actual ramifications that can actually hurt the people that actually play these games every day. Because honestly, if my school decided to just chalk Call of Duty, I wouldn't be in the CCL anymore. I literally would have to. I probably would pick another esport to play at that point because it's like, there's nothing you can do, right? Yeah. So this is like, I don't think people understand that this is people's actual livelihood that like you're like trying to use as a scapegoat. And like there's just other things you can, regardless of why you think these things happen. Like there's other things you can blame than somebody sitting in front of a computer screen and like playing video games.
They're tired of the mentally ill excuse.
Yeah, but that's like a given. Like literally any time, it's like if usually what really blows my mind about that kind of stuff is like people will wait on like to see like who did it per se. Like if it's a person of Middle Eastern descent, okay, he's a terrorist. Like there's no mental illness like associated with that. But anytime like a white kid goes up and shoots up a school, the first thing is, oh, was he mentally okay? And then like I don't know, like mental illness is definitely a part of it, because to me, anybody that goes and like has a mindset to go and shoot up a whole mall, like you're not all there. Like you can't be, right? But at the same time, like these people need to be held accountable for their actions, because when you use the mental health moniker behind that, I feel like it's sort of an insult to the people that actually have mental health issues and fight and struggle with that kind of stuff every single day and don't react in those kind of ways, right? Like, just because you have mental health issues doesn't mean like you should be romanticized in a way that makes it seem like, okay, he had mental health issues, so we have to sort of empathize with what he did. Like, that should not be the case at all, you know. And so yeah, I definitely think, yeah, I agree with that. Mental health is definitely like a huge part of it. But I think, like I said before, the biggest issue I have is like, out of all the things that you could throw the blame on, like, don't come for a video, especially in the thing that's mind blowing about it is the blame usually comes from people that probably had never touched a video game in their life besides like Super Mario on the SNES or something like that. You know what I mean? The people that haven't touched video games in so long. And I think so another thing I think that comes with those misconceptions is like, I think older people, and I know this like from experience, because okay, so when I was a couple years ago, it was like the summer of Advanced Warfare, maybe. Christian, I don't know if you remember that summer, but we were literally on like every day playing Advanced Warfare that summer.
And that's like, what I was doing too. I was on that game 10 hours a day.
I would literally go to work, come home, and like that's when I worked at Fazoli. So like I didn't work full time. So like I would have my off days and my days where I would go to work and come home. And on my off days, I would literally wake up, shower, eat breakfast, run back upstairs, close my door, and I would be watching streams and playing Advanced Warfare all day, right? And so
I had the scump on my screen on my laptop, and I had AW on the screen all day, bro.
Yeah, like but I remember one day I was in the car with my grandma, and she literally looked at me and she was like, "Are you depressed?" And I was like, no, why would you ask that? She was like, well, you're just like locked up in your room all day, so I didn't know. And I think like older people don't get like the concept of like you can have friends like online. Like when we're up here playing video games, we're not like playing by ourselves. We're not like locked in a cocoon, like being away from the outside world. Like video games in itself.
Like,
yeah, right. If anything,
I think the games, you know.
Yeah, and
I think like
no, go ahead.
When I got back from Anaheim, I was at my grandmother's house, and I was like showing her all the pictures, and I got to the picture of all of us, like both like the CCL picture and all our group picture.
Yeah.
She's like, "You met all these people on Call of Duty?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
These are all my friends. I got like 30 of them.
Yeah, see that's the thing. Like I think a lot of older people at least get that misconception of like we're, like I said, locked in a cocoon and like separating ourselves from social interaction completely. But it's like, if anything, like I tweeted about this, I was like, I don't know if I would have like many friends at all if it wasn't for like me playing online, right? Like there's not many people that I can really like confide in or like that I would actually hang out with on a daily basis. But like literally my days, like my social interaction is playing around either my girlfriend or like when am I getting on to play Call of Duty or any other kind of game today with the people that I enjoy talking to, right? So it's like I think once we get rid of that stigma, I think that'll really help, because I think that is a lot of people's issue. They think that, okay, we're doing this stuff and we're locking ourselves away from other people, so it messes with our mental and that makes us, result of violence. So I do think that's a stigma that like really, and a narrative that really, really needs to go before we're gonna make any progress and making people believe that video games aren't like the cause of it. Because I think like no matter what, you're always gonna have like older people that think that is the case, and you probably even have younger people that might think that's the case. Young people that don't play video games, right? So no stigma is gonna just completely disappear ever. But hopefully that's when
I'll start dumbing down games.
Sadly I think they will, but only because like stuff like this continues to happen, right? Like I don't think there's ways you can combat stuff like that. Like, okay, for instance, do y'all remember AW had paintball mode, right? Like where like stuff like that, it'll be stuff like that where it doesn't like completely change the game, but it adds like a filter for younger kids.
Didn't they require paintball mode for esports games? Like I remember in AW, everybody, like all those like CODcast, like all the events had paintball mode on.
Paintball.
I don't think they required it.
Pros like it or something.
Yeah, they liked it because I think you could track your bullets with it, and you couldn't with the other stuff. Yeah, so I think that's why they really enjoyed using it. But stuff like that, and stuff like, I think the Modern Warfare campaign will be really telling. I feel like, because this is like the first game that I think is going to sort of push the boundaries of what people think is acceptable or not anymore. So, but like I said, I think they're also smart enough to know what you can and can't get away with, like in today's society, right? So like if you want to be edgy and you want to get people's like you want to get word of mouth out like yo like this mission in the campaign was dope, like you need to play this, like it was crazy, like it made me feel this and this. But you also don't want to get to the point where it's like problematic just to be problematic. Like at this point, if they implement like another no Russian mission like into the game, like you're just doing it literally just to be problematic at that point. Like
for the shock factor.
Yeah, you're asking for trouble at that point. Like if you put another mission in that game like that, you're asking for trouble, especially with all this stuff going on. And then all people like the whole topic, like people are blaming video games, right? So if you implement something like that and word gets out that this is what we're playing, people are gonna be like, oh, there it is, there it is right there, like they're glorifying it. So I think you have to be really, really, really careful.
Right,
yeah. With how I don't think they'll dumb it down per se, but I think the content is definitely gonna be centered. Censored, I guess you could say censored. But I mean, we'll always have like our niche games that are willing to push those boundaries, right? Like your Grand Theft Autos, your Saints Rows, and like stuff like that. Like we're always gonna have like that.
I feel like the next GTA is gonna be.
Oh, it's gonna be wild.
Nuts.
They're not. Yeah. They're never gonna change.
Yeah, and right.
No, they won't. They're just gonna push the boundary even harder.
Right. Exactly. And
like
I think
GTA
that's
5 was GTA 5 was all over the place with how bad it was.
Yeah, and I think those games are essential, right? Because you have your audience that like really enjoys that kind of stuff, and you also have your audience of kids that probably don't need to be playing that kind of stuff, so they need other alternatives, right? So I think like either way, like the monitoring of like the content that the developers put out is like it's warranted, and I think it's really important, especially if we're gonna try to change that stigma of what video games are, because like there's no way I would sit like if I were to like go downstairs and like play a game in front of my grandma, there's no way I would play something like that would make her think.
I'm not playing GTA.
Yeah, I'm not playing GTA. I'm not playing like, I'm not putting MW2 no Russian in front of her. Like it's not happening. So I think it's important if we're gonna sort of combat that kind of stuff to really, really sit down and think, okay, like this is what should be socially acceptable and what we need to put on the forefront in the public eye. And honestly, I thought Fortnite, like with its cartoonish nature, would be that game, but people even came for Fortnite saying like, blaming Fortnite. Yeah, they're blaming Fortnite. So it's like, I don't know. I guess just shooting games in general just aren't the wave when it comes to like trying to prove to people that video games aren't like really debilitating to the mindset that we have. But once again, I think like even past the shooting stuff, I think it's just that stigma of. It all goes back to that stigma of we're locked in our rooms in the dark, just shooting people and with no social interaction. I think that's like number one, like on the list of things we have to get people to understand that it's not the case before we can really move forward with this conversation. So yeah.
I wonder what do they expect even from guns, because they don't ever bring that up into a conversation. Like, what's the point of having ARs? Like if you're gonna complain about shooting games, you should talk about us having those type of guns out in the real world.
I think so. Like, so Toonie and Casey were sort of like questioning me on this, and I thought it was interesting as people don't really understand it. Like in other countries, like if you talk to people from other countries, whenever this stuff happens, they genuinely don't understand like how guns are so ingrained into like American culture, right? But it's like it comes down to like they've been in our history like throughout the entirety of American history. Like as soon as America was colonized, like guns were brought to the picture, and so it's hard to really just like rid ourselves of that, I guess. Which me and you might not understand it because like guns weren't like a prominent part of like our household, right? But to somebody else that grew up with guns, like they grew up shooting guns for recreation and stuff like that, it's always been a case of like I don't use my gun the wrong way, so why should I have to forfeit it? And like it's a thing that's like I said, it's just so ingrained into American culture that I don't think it'll ever change. And then like with the NRA and the whole lobbying behind certain candidates and politicians and stuff, it's just something that I don't think will ever really come to fruition unless something like really, really, really bad happens. I don't think anything will change. Like the moment I knew that like
Sandy Hook stuff.
Yes, the Sandy Hook thing, that's when I knew like it was chalk. Like there's literally nothing that American politicians are gonna do when it comes to like gun safety and stuff. If you can look into the eyes of parents whose 4 or 5-year-old children just got gunned down in their school and not want to change anything, that like Nothing's gonna change. Nothing's ever gonna change unless somebody goes up and like shoots up a nursery or something. God forbid. I don't want to give anybody, a crazy person, any ideas. But like if somebody did that, then that's like at this point that's the only thing I can think of that people will want to change anything, right? But I think it just comes down to we have to have a mindset of like, okay, for instance, if video games, like if there was a proven study that video games are affecting like how people think and are affecting like their increased like a violent tendencies, right? And like if it was for the greater good of like of society and it would help stop that kind of stuff, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like if you have to take away my FPS games, I can find something else to play. If it really came down to that, because other people's lives are more important than my wanting to play FPS games. And I think we have to have that same mindset when it comes to our guns, right? Like I have family members that have guns that they shoot for recreation and go hunting and stuff like that. But it just comes down to like, okay, what's more important? You being able to tote around your AR-15 that you use like maybe 4 times a year to go out in your backyard and shoot, or like people's livelihoods. And I think we have to come to a point of that before we can sort of really change anything. And I think that'll happen. I personally, I don't think it ever will. Like I said, because if you're not from the US, it might be really hard to understand, but like guns are a part of American culture. Like most households have at least like a pistol, for self-defense, right? That they might not have out in the open, but there's a pistol somewhere in the household for self-defense and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think anything will ever change, but I think our biggest issue is just like, if you're gonna throw blame, if you're not gonna have legislative change, don't use video games as a scapegoat. That's my biggest thing.
Interesting. You mentioned the studies. There's literally studies that disprove that.
Yeah, that video games.
I did a speech about this exact topic 2 years ago for my speech class about video games correlation with violence. There's literally studies from Oxford that says there is absolutely zero correlation between violence in video games and violent tendencies
in real life
without proven mental health issues.
Yeah, they said video games actually improve mental.
Yeah, it's like it improves your motor skills. It improves your like hand-eye coordination, your response times.
And there's some people like once again going back to like the social interaction aspect of it. Like people don't understand that for some people probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for video games. Like I know plenty of people that like their primary getaway from their real life situation was video games and playing with other people online. Like there are plenty of people that have like bad mental states that use this to get away and use it as their only form of social interaction. And so like video games can literally save people's lives, and I think just once again, like once we get to like that and we get that as like common knowledge, then I think the stigma will be revoked per se. But like I think this is the first time people have sort of really paid attention to it, but this blame game with video games has been going on for years. Like it's always happened,
Since Columbine.
Yeah, Columbine. I think it was like really the first one, because I think Dylan Keyboard and I can't think of the other guy's name, but they always like play video games together, right? And so that people found that stuff in their room and they're like, okay, like this could be a cause of it. So it's always been a thing, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know when it'll stop. But I think all we can do right now as like gamers and as esports competitors is really just try to educate people on like the benefits of video games. So I encourage like listeners and people that are watching, like if you have the opportunity to educate somebody on why video games like is beneficial to you in particular, even if you can't convince them like on a wider scope, tell them why like it changed your life, why it was beneficial to you. And that I feel like that can go a long way in sort of changing that stigma of a lack of social interaction that comes with video games. So once again, we send our condolences to the people in Dayton, people in El Paso. It's just really sad at this point that we have to do this on a regular basis. But hopefully something changes. So on to a lighter topic. So I actually came up with this topic because I was at work and I was talking about like anime, and like for some reason like people were sitting there like laughing at me for like watching like older people and stuff, and like I was like, okay, are there any other like guilty pleasures that y'all have? And one of them was like, well, sometimes when I'm eating, I like to like rub my head, and sometimes I put oil on my head so I don't sweat while I eat. And I was like, what, bro? I was like, what? And I was like, okay, bro. So then I was like, okay, this would actually be a pretty dope thing. We just talked about like guilty pleasures that we have. So I guess we can go like one by one throughout us three. And so I can start off. So number one, guilty pleasure of mine. I don't really tweet about it ever. Like I'll just usually do it in peace. But it's like really sort of ingrained into. I feel like most of the reason I still do this is because it's ingrained into my family. So like me and my granddad have a really strong bond through this. Me and my uncles, I sort of grew up with it. So like it's just sort of always carried on. Even if I don't necessarily like, I'm not an avid like partaker in doing this. Like I still like keep up with it, and like I'll watch like the big like pay-per-views and stuff. So I still watch WWE. And I like really enjoy it, like till to this day. And like I said, that could be just because like me and my granddad bond through it, and I have like family ties through it and whatnot. But like Monday and Tuesday, if I have time, if I'm not streaming or anything, we don't have scrims or league matches, I'm still watching it. So on Sundays, like a lot of times I watch the pay-per-views. WrestleMania is still on my bucket list to go to one year. Like I have to go before I die. But yeah, that's my number one.
You should come up here in a few weeks. Raw's coming to Knoxville.
Really?
In a few weeks, yeah.
I think I'm actually going to. So there's like they have like a developmental brand called NXT, right? And it's they're coming
to be big into that too.
Yeah, they're coming to South Haven, I think in September or something. September and November, one of the two, and I think I'm gonna go. I'm pretty sure because I usually like the NXT shows better than like Raw and SmackDown, to be honest, because they have really good wrestling in those shows.
Yeah.
Did you go to your first?
When did I go to my first?
Yeah.
So we literally haven't had a pay-per-view in Memphis since this day, and it was like Unforgiven in 2005 or 6. And I remember the main event was Randy Orton versus John Cena, and I remember it was when Randy Orton was like going around like kicking John Cena's dad in the head and stuff. And now that I think back on it, it's actually pretty hey bro, that man was kicking the shit out of his old ass dad, bro. Oh my god. But yeah, that was
I went to Raw when Shawn Michaels was still wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
That last remember the last like DX run they had back in like late
like 2011, right?
Yeah, like the early 2010s, like Shawn Michaels' retirement year. I went to Raw that year. When it came to
dude, I don't know. I need to go back and look at that match card and see like who was on it, because for some reason Randy Orton versus John Cena is the only one I can remember, because that was like the main event, like I said. But I don't know if I ever got to see Shawn Michaels wrestle live, and that really sucks. Like I did. Yeah, really I wish I could have seen it. It
was Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker against. Remember, Napoleon Dynamite?
Napoleon Dynamite.
The guy that played Napoleon Dynamite was like the star guest of the Raw.
Oh, okay.
Chris Jericho and Big Show.
Yeah, they used to have like celebrity guests a lot. Yeah. That was really cool
because I got to see Undertaker, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels in one night. And then John Cena comes out and he sings Rocky Top when it's like like the after dark, like after the camera shut off. After they always do it in Knoxville, where John Cena comes out and he sings Rocky Top.
They I remember I do remember the Undertaker being there actually, because like I remember getting to see the Undertaker entrance live, and that was like one of my favorite things of all time. Dude, it's actually amazing though. Like the smoke effects, like the music, everything is like perfect with his entrance. And I think like a lot of people look when they think about WWE, they think of like the acting and like the fake punches and stuff like that. But it's literally just like any other TV show almost. Like it has characters.
A soap opera with people fighting each other.
It has character development, and like it has different characters, interactions, storylines, and drama, and it's like, and like a lot of it is fake. Yeah, the punches and stuff, like of course it's fake. Like nobody's gonna walk around punching each other in the face like that unless you're in UFC, right? But then like some of the stuff, like you literally cannot fake. Like there's certain like bumps they take in the ring that you like they just take it. Like, and there's a level of toughness
that comes falling off a 10-foot
ladder, yeah, like it's not happening. So yeah, I still really enjoy it. So that's definitely one of my guilty pleasures still. What about you, Nick?
It's kind of like died down recently, but like in the last year or two, I was really into like building Lego. It's just like no lie, I would have a Lego set next to me playing GBs. When I start raging, I would just start building.
So did you buy like the? Did you buy like the Lego sets? Like, you know, there's always commercials. Yeah. Like, okay, so like what? I guess I've never understood like with those. Like, do people reuse those or do they simply? Is it like a puzzle? Like, do you literally buy the sets? So you buy the sets and just put it together?
Like on shelves.
Okay.
Like my World War II teammate was a YouTuber for Lego. He was a Lego YouTuber, so he got me back. Like I did it when everyone did it. Like I did when I was a kid a lot, but like he got me back into it last year. So I was just like, it's just calming, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like if you're going around to college saying, I buy Lego sets and I build them for fun.
Yeah.
You getting clowned.
What about you, Christian?
I always have to wear double socks.
What?
I have to always wear 2 pairs of socks.
Bro, your shit is
yeah, so I'm about to say, and bro, in this weather in 2019, bro, nah, dude,
it's uncomfortable wearing one pair of socks.
Oh hell no, bro, it cannot happen, bro. I'm sorry, there's no way. So even in the summer, you do it.
I have to,
bro.
You doing so much laundry, or you own hella socks?
I own a lot of socks.
Okay, bro. I was about to say, dude. Good lord, I couldn't do it. Like I don't really, my feet don't really sweat, but I just feel like that's just too much, bro. Like, okay, can y'all walk around the house without socks on?
Yeah,
I can't.
If I got carpet, I can't walk on tile or like.
Okay, I can agree with that. I could probably do carpet.
Yeah.
The hardwood.
I can't wear I can't wear shoes when I play COD.
I can.
Dude, I was literally struggling at Anaheim.
Sometimes I feel
going through it, bro.
So
I can't wear shoes when I play. I was literally like dying at Anaheim.
If I'm not streaming, then I can usually like get a little more loose. Like I'll take shoes and socks off and play and whatnot. But like if I'm like streaming for some reason, I feel naked, like without like a full outfit on. It's like I'll have a t-shirt on, like shorts, shoes, socks. Like I'll be playing like just fine. So like I guess that didn't really affect me whenever we played on land. But like, when it comes to walking around the house, I cannot walk around without socks on, bro. I cannot do it. At least what Christian said.
I can't sleep with socks on.
I can.
What?
I cannot. No,
I can.
I can't wear socks when I sleep, bro. No.
Huh?
So you might as well sleep with your door open.
Nah, I don't do all that. When when I have my old place or my own place, I sleep with my door open. Bro, when I got my own apartment and stuff like that. What? Yes. Well, I guess I've never. Okay, it's different because so my sophomore year I lived with 3 other guys, right, in a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. You remember that apartment, Christian? You were there. Remember that? The 4-bedroom, 4-bath. My bad. And so like those doors, like when you're living with 3 other dudes, of course you're not sleeping with the door open, right? But like I guess I never really lived like on my own. So like I lived with my ex last year, and we would sleep with the door open all the time. Cause like I don't know, I just never really felt the need to like close the door, or like. But when I'm at home, like I close the door because like I'm around family. It's just weird. I feel like to leave the door open. But like if I was like to live by myself, I'll sleep with the door open. Why not?
I close my door and lock it.
What you think? Somebody about to levitate in there and smoke you?
I just close it, bro.
Man, I think like somebody's gonna float in there and just smoke you or something.
You never know.
Shit happens, bro.
I actually, when I was little, I used to have to have the door open to sleep, but I would be so terrified. I used to think something was like a ghoul or something was gonna like just float through the doorway and just come and try to smoke me. Like I would literally be sitting out sleeping like this, but I would be staring at the doorway until I fell asleep. Literally be staring at it for like hours, bro. I'm not even joking. It was bad. So my next one is actually so I like to be baby. Like if I have a girlfriend, don't do that, bro. You mean to tell me that you don't like being a little spoon sometimes? Come on, Christian. Come on, Christian.
I give you that.
Exactly. So sometimes
you're not wrong.
See, sometimes I like being a little spoon. Sometimes I like laying my head in my girlfriend's chest and falling asleep.
Okay,
so
that's different. I think you talking about like I don't know some.
What do you think I'm talking about?
Dream baby.
Oh, you mean like have her like feed me? And no, nigga.
Wait, that weird.
Yeah, ain't that weird. But yeah, like sometimes like I don't mind me like the little spoon. I don't mind like laying my head on my girlfriend's chest to have her like brush her fingers through my hair and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's perfectly fine with me. But I know like some guys like don't like that kind of stuff. They're like, oh, like, I'm supposed to be the man and whatnot. Like, man, fuck all that. Like sometimes, yeah, I like spoon me. I'm cool on that. Don't get weird and like put your finger in my like. Don't get weird and put your finger in my booty or nothing. But like, other than that, but other than that, I'm cool, bro. Like, I'm down to be baby. Trust. Yeah, that's my number 2. What's your number 2, Nick?
This one might just be ass, but I like to be super early to shit.
Okay.
Like I get to work 45 minutes early and sit in my car for 30. Yeah, I sit in my car for 30 minutes.
Cut it.
I get to class like an hour early.
This man dedicated.
Yeah,
I sit in the hallway for 30 minutes.
Dude, ain't no way.
If I gotta be like pick my girlfriend up at noon, I'm leaving at like 11:30, and she lives like 10 minutes away.
Oh, see, I'm always late. Granted, my girlfriend now lives like 30 minutes away from me, like until we get back to Oxford. So like, she gets on to me all the time. It's the worst when I'm playing COD. So, like I'll be streaming and I'll be like, all right, like I'm gonna stream until this time and like be on my way to your house, right? I literally will be like 2 hours late, and she'll be so mad at me. Like so if I have something important. So for me, what usually happens is like I always underestimate how much time it takes me to get ready for something. Yeah. So like I'll get ready and then I'll end up like I'll have plenty of time to get ready, but I'll wait because I'm like, oh, it ain't gonna take me that much time. And then like by the time I get ready, it's like now I'm like sprinting through the door, like trying to get to this place on time.
Like every day to work.
In my mind, it's
but
like
it feels so good to be on time that one time.
Oh yeah, I will say that like when you're on time or leaving like a little early for something, like it feels really good. But 45 minutes early.
In my mind, if I'm not like 30 minutes early, I'm like bugging. Yeah, like, I'm gonna be late. Cause like I always like my mind's always like worst case. There's gonna be a wreck. I'm gonna be stuck in traffic. I'm gonna be late, and they're gonna fire me. Even though I show up to work 30 minutes early every day.
But you see,
I show up late once and we get fired.
The funny thing about that is like, to me, it's weird how the human mind works. Where it's like, if it's something like semi-important to us, like we're like we can oversleep or we can like not, we can be late to something and like we'll still be like upset about it, but we won't be as mad. But for instance, like something like when we went to Anaheim, like I was up, bro. Like I made sure I was up like 30 minutes early before like
I was getting to the venue 45 minutes early.
Yeah, see, but like even stuff like that, right? I
was in line like hella early.
Yeah,
I'm like, I got in line. I'm here.
It's even stuff like that. Like it's weird.
Like Sergio, like my shoe release when we was in Houston.
Yes, bro. This dude right here was up super early. This man woke up like it was nothing, bro.
Sneaker drops, bro. I got flamed on one of them.
But we like.
Good job.
Yeah, that's always been weird to me. But like 45 minutes early, like that's in college, that's an extra 30 minutes of sleep, bro. Like that's an extra 30 minutes, and I'm missing out.
The worst day of my life. I slept through. I was sleeping. I get a call, and it's work. I'm like, the hell? And they're like, hey, bro, you're supposed to be here 2 hours ago.
Tough.
I was like, oh God. I took a shower in 2 minutes. I was out the door in 5, and I was there in 2. Bro, I was like, I'm here.
I remember I almost overslept my very first test in college. I had an 8 a.m.
Dude, I was up hella early for that. Like my first exam. I was there so early, bro.
I had an 8 a.m. biology class, and it was our first exam. And I stayed up all night, like studying for it, because I was super nervous, and I hadn't really studied before that, right? And I remember I woke up, and like so the class started at 8. It was like literally like 7:52. And I was like, oh my God. I literally got up, bro.
That's when you sprint.
Yes, bro. I put the same clothes I had on the night before. Thank God I bought like you have to buy Scantrons. Thank God I bought a Scantron the night before because
I keep like 3 Scantrons in my backpack just in case I forget to buy one.
See, I did too. And at that point, it's like your first test. By then, you really don't know anybody enough to like, towards the end of the semester, you know enough people where you can like ask, like, hey, you got an extra Scantron if you need one, right? But I didn't really know anybody and I didn't want to ask, especially if I'm walking in late, right? I literally got up. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I did not brush my teeth. My breath was kicking. It was hot. I sprinted to class, bro. I sat next to this girl, and I didn't have a pencil, but my breath was so bad I didn't want to ask, bro. At that point, I swear to God, my breath probably, yeah, bro. At that point, I swear to God, my breath probably like did like, you know, remember the ugly from SpongeBob where like the green breath came out? That's probably what my breath looked like that day, bro. It was that bad. I was like, oh my God, bro. Bro, I was like, excuse me, like, can I have a pencil, please? She was like, sure. So I don't think she smelt it, but if she did, it bothered me.
I would have snitched on you.
What I do?
Your breath, sir. This nigga breath stank. Flee. Don't let me take the test.
Yo, bro, nah, dude, she was really cool about it, and she gave me, she gave me a pencil and everything, and I was good. But bro, like, I think I made it like an 801 or something like. And I literally like when I tell you like I sprinted across campus. From now on, like I never judge people when I see them like running across campus to get somewhere.
I never judge people when they run. I'm like, that guy's late to something.
Yeah.
He's got a mission.
Like I literally never judge people off that anymore, bro. Because that day I went, bro. I've never ran that fast in my entire life. I don't think it was that bad. That's a good one though. But yeah, like I said, 45 minutes early. I can't be doing all that. What about you, Christian? What's your second
one? I always have to mix my food.
What you mean?
Like you mean mix?
How do y'all feel about mixing food? Like,
no, I don't want my food touching.
I can't touch.
Yeah, I don't want my food touching, bro.
Like you got mashed potatoes and corn. You putting that together?
Okay, wait, I can do that. Oh God, I can do that. Okay, oh God, mashed potatoes.
I gotta separate it, bro.
What, bro? No, dude. No, mashed potatoes and corn are like you gotta go together, bro.
You know, okay, so like with soul food,
I gotta try it.
Dressing and mac and cheese, yams.
See, I don't mix mac and cheese and dressing. I don't mix my mac and cheese. Dude, no. I mean,
not just, you know, let me mix it up and then eat it. You know, I'll get a spoonful, and then, you know, eat it like that.
I guess, but you okay. That's more acceptable than what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, I thought you were like putting it all on a plate.
Mixing it up and then eating it.
No, that's psycho level.
But like how I usually eat is like all, and apparently I didn't even know this like until I like dated a couple girls, but like apparently it's like a stigma of men that we eat like one thing at a time when we're eating. Like we eat one.
I do that.
Yeah, usually I do that. Like I usually take it like one thing at a time. Like for instance, if I go to like Subway or something like that. Like I'll eat my chips first before I eat my sandwich. Like I don't eat chip and eat it. Yeah, you remember that? Like I ate my yeah.
I got
what you mean?
If I go to Chick-fil-A, I eat the whole thing of nuggets, the whole thing of fries, and then the drink.
The fries is like an appetizer. The burger is the main course.
Bro, you eat it together.
Nah, I do it the other way.
Nah, bro.
I do.
You eat your fries last?
Yeah, I eat all 8 nuggets, then all the fries, then drink my whole drink.
See, I drink way too much, bro. Like when I go out to eat, like the waitress or waiter used to have to bring me like at least 4 glasses,
hate me,
bro.
They bring me like 4 Cokes a meal.
Well, we went to IHOP in Anaheim, bro. Before the first, I think it was before the first day we competed.
Friday.
Yeah, it was that Friday. Like I remember we went to IHOP that morning, bro, and I literally had like so many glasses to drink that morning. It was bad. Like she brought us our drinks. Went to the back to wait until we were ready to order. She came back and she was like, "You want some more?" I was like, "Yes, please." Like it is bad, bro.
That whole thing is like 2 minutes.
It's bad. Like I drink way too much for my own good.
God, I should have gone to eat with you all more.
So my number one. This is 100% my weirdest one. Probably a little TMI, right?
Oh,
so
God.
I can't let anybody go near my willy if it has hair on it. If I have not shaved my willy, bruh, I will not do anything with it.
You sound like a 12-year-old. Hey, girl, look at my little wheelie.
Yo, bro, I'm about to show y'all some mind blowing stuff. Give me 2 seconds, bro.
Bro, man, for the show is wee wee. Oh God.
So I used to I used to have like a razor that I use, right? I used to have a razor that I used to like cut down there, and it used to give me like literally a heart attack because for some reason, to this day, I still think like, oh shit, like what if I cut my ball sack open? Like, my balls is gonna fall out and I ain't gonna have balls no more. So like, it scares me so bad, right? And like, so when I met Katie, she we were for some reason we were talking about like how the difference between how girls and guys shave like in their private areas, right?
You gotta use conditioner, bro. Okay, never mind. I thought
You got his first, bro.
Anyways, so she was like, yeah, sometimes girls don't shave, we just use like hair removal cream. I was like, but don't you have to use like a thing still to have hair removal cream? He was like, no, there's some cream that literally takes hair off. And I was like,
you didn't know that?
No, I was like, bruh, this just changed my life.
Ashley used that all the time, and she had me using it.
Bruh, look, if you're watching this live, this will change your life, bro. I'm telling you. I was mind blown. You put this down there, you rub it in real good, you wait like 5 minutes before you get in the shower, it literally just falls off, bro. I was like, this cannot be healthy. Cause like yes, bro, it literally gets it like that. It felt like a baby's bottom down there, bro. I'm not even joking.
I don't even know that.
Bro, I'm not even joking, bro. Like this stuff like actually works wonders. I ain't gonna lie though. It says you're not supposed to use it down there, but I use it anyway.
It said it on the bottom.
I did anyway. But highly recommend, even if it's like if it's not just for like down there, like if you just want to use it for like if you have chest hair or like anywhere kind of hair, don't put it on your head, of course. But other than that, it works really good. So that's definitely like, but literally like if I have any form of like not like any hair, like any excessive hair, like, and my girlfriend tries to like do something, I'm like, no, get away from me. I can't right now. Like I feel gross. Like do not come near me. I cannot do it, bro. Like that's 100% my guilty pleasure. Like I have to have it like smooth as a baby's ass down there. It has to happen.
Why are you comparing your wee-wee to a baby's booty?
This might be the last episode of the podcast, bro. We get shut down.
You get demonetized, bro.
All right, Nick, what's your number one?
God, this one might be worse than the last one. I really like Attack of the Clones.
What's that?
Star Wars Episode 2. People will regard it as like the third worst one.
Oh,
that shit is my jam.
Yeah, I've never seen Star Wars, so it's like, is it like?
It's like people say it's ass.
Like really bad.
Everyone hates it. It's like the third worst one.
Oh boy.
Out of 8. Yeah. I love it. It's my favorite. I love that movie.
You might get roasted in the comments for that one, bud.
Dude, Ricky and Jack are about to murder me.
Yeah, probably. You might get roasted for that one.
I love that movie.
So is it like so bad that it's like skippable? Like if I actually one day just decide to go back and watch the Star Wars movies, like is it?
I don't think so, but
yeah, other people might.
I mean, people watch it because it has like character development and actual important stuff in it.
What do people hate about it?
I understand what people hate about it because like the lines are ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like the actual like story of the movie
mm-hmm.
and like the lines and the delivery is awful.
Is it corny?
It's hella corny.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't do corny.
One section is hella corny. One part is super corny. But like the action scene, like the second half of that movie, oh my god. I love it.
I'm gonna have to watch it just because now I'm curious. But I I said, to this day I've only seen one Star Wars movie, and it wasn't The Last Jedi, but it was the one.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, that was the last one I saw. Or the only one.
That one's good.
Actually, no, I remember because there's one that used to come on TV literally all the time. It was the one where Anakin got his arm cut off or whatever. I can't remember which one that was. That's the one?
That's the one.
How is that the worst one? They show that one on TV literally all the time.
Wait, are you sure it's Anakin? It's not Luke?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, Anakin gets his arm cut off. Yeah.
They both get their arm cut off.
Oh, well. I just remember Anakin.
There's like five. Getting your arm cut off is just a staple in Star Wars. Like 5 people get their arms cut off.
Yikes! Yeah, I remember Anakin getting his arm cut off, and that one, the one that I don't think I've ever even seen the whole thing. I just remember like that image of him with his arm cut off is so ingrained in my head because I saw it so many times. Yeah.
To another dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's episode 2. That's Attack of the Clones.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
I just love that movie.
What's your number one, Christian?
I'll dry off in the shower.
Wait, what?
You just get completely dry while it's still in the shower?
Yes.
Like completely dry.
Except my feet.
Why?
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 I get out of there as fast as possible.
Yeah, like what?
I grab the towel, I dry off in the shower, then I get out the shower.
I grab the towel on the way out.
I hate being cold.
Yeah, like well, see, for me, like I'll grab the towel and like wipe my face off because a lot of times I'm gonna have like shampoo or something in my eyes, so like I want to like get like dry my face off. Other than that, like no, I'm not drying off in the shower, you weirdo.
I can't be wet.
It's like hella humid in there.
Yeah.
What? I can't be wet when air blowing.
You take like, I take like fucking sauna showers where that shit is maxed out.
So you just don't like being cold.
Yeah.
So are you the type of person that like you prefer summer over winter?
Nope.
But you don't like being cold?
Nope.
All right.
I don't like being wet and cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. It is a little different.
I can be drying off and chilling in the house in 60-degree weather.
I don't know, bro. You're an oddball. I
don't know what
can
you have
do
with
it.
winters with 60-degree weather.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move to the Q&A section. As I said before, for now we're gonna take like the 5 best questions we could find and sort of speed up the process a little bit because our old Q&A sections in previous episodes seem to drag a little bit. So first question comes from @RAStrong03. He asks, what modes should be in the comp set and how should the CCL approach making the matches exciting to watch with a slower paced COD? So I think they go hand in hand, right? Personally, I think the modes that you pick make a slower paced COD fun to watch or not, right? And the maps also, like Ghost was for a boots game, I guess it was sort of fast paced, but the maps really made or break the game. Like Freight made it really fast paced, you know, Sovereign made it really fast paced.
Then you got Stonehaven, which
yeah,
the biggest map of all time.
We ain't gonna talk about Stonehaven. But as far as modes, it's like I've seen a lot of people trying to vouch for domination, bro. I do not want to play Dom in a competitive setting.
If I see Dom in the rotation, I'm literally retiring.
I'm not
retiring, actually. Don't count me on that.
I don't mind like having like the 5 game mode like rule set or whatever. Like I know a lot of people, or the 4 my bad, because you have SND game 2 and 5. Yeah, 2 searches. So like so for me the ideal thing would be Hardpoint, SND, CTF. I'm guessing Uplink isn't coming back, so I think the cyber attack.
They have that. There's a new mode. It's like Uplink. It's called Infection, where you take your flag from your base. It's like it's reverse CTF. Like you take the flag from your base and put it in the enemy's base.
Oh, that might be kind of dope.
It's like it's reverse CTF. It's
kind of like Blitz.
I want to see.
It's like Blitz, but you got to carry the flag.
Okay, yeah, that might be pretty dope. I don't know. I think that'd be dope.
That's a rumored game mode.
I think that's a possibility. Cyber attack could be a possibility.
I think cyber attack sounds lit. I think
cyber attack would be pretty dope.
I think we have to have hardpoint.
Yeah, hardpoint is like definitely a staple. And hardpoint is just so fun to watch. Like a lot of people complain that it's kind of hard to follow, but like some of my favorite competitive COD moments, like playing and watching, have come from like close hardpoint games. So I think like that's like a staple at this point in COD. You can, especially if you try to take hardpoint out for domination, like Aches was talking about the other day. There's no way, bro. Like know
it literally doesn't get better than the Seaside hardpoints in Vegas.
Yeah,
like just watch like the last 3 Seaside hardpoints from Vegas. It's literally the greatest COD, and I'm biased because Optic won him. But
yeah, I definitely think those for sure. So like. One more time, like for me, I said hardpoint, SND, CTF, cyber attack / infection, and then SND. Like I said, my biggest stipulation, I just do not want like I don't want I don't want Dom in the rotation like at all. And I think like another thing to go along with making matches exciting to watch, I think a lot of it is really just production value. Like I know the CCL, I know our production. I trust our production team to really step up things. But for the CDL, I think like it's really important for them to make it look super professional. Because like when I first started watching the OWL, the Overwatch League, like I didn't really know much about the game, but like the production value they had and how like
they do a good job at teaching.
Yeah, they do a really good job of teaching. They do a really good job of making sure you know like what's going on throughout the entirety of the map. Like they handle ult management really good and let you know like okay, this person has this ult. So different stuff like that. I think just appealing to the casual viewer.
Their halftime show is really good too.
Yeah,
Have you seen their halftime show where they do like they bring up the map and they like actually like draw out what's happening and like, explain like during the break.
Right.
Because like COD, they just do like we'll be back in 15
and it
minutes.
takes forever, right? And
they actually had something to fill that gap where you're teaching like new viewers. I think that'd be.
And
like,
I feel like that retains viewership too. Like if you just have people sitting there for 15 minutes, people like are gonna zone out and be like
clock and listen to the same track on repeat.
Exactly. So I feel like if they had something in between that, that makes it a lot more fun to watch. Especially for the like for us, like we're used to that. Like we're COD players, so like we might not mind, you know, sitting through that 15-minute break or whatever to
understand like they need a break.
Right, but for other people that don't know what's going on and tuning in for the first time, they don't want to sit there for 15 minutes to wait for the next match to start. You know what I mean?
I feel like the CCL would be able to do that, like something like that too. Like just have Shift talk about a map in between maps or something.
And for the CCL, I would say make the players like more personable per se. I guess you could say like. So I know one of the things we talked about. I've been suggesting this since like last season. That we need to have like headshots for each team
player
and then, like
card,
like player cards. Yeah,
I was just about to say that like your face comes up or like the team comes up. Yeah,
because people are more likely to become fans of a school or be attached to a school if they know more about the player. Even if you have like stats, have like a little fun fact or their position under their like a headshot or whatever, like stuff like that goes a long way.
Cards they gave out in IW, like they literally gave the cards out with like it has a picture of the player, their team, their logo, their name.
Yeah, stuff like that definitely goes a long way.
Position and a fun fact. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Add Dylan Crozier as if you could be a pro in any sport, which would it be and why?
Or not esport.
Nah, sport.
Sport.
I think I would do.
Like a top pro or like just.
It's just a pro. I mean, if you're a pro, I would assume you are the top. I would probably do. I've literally never played sport in my life, but I'll probably do soccer just because soccer is like such an international like phenomenon. Like it's not just like, it's not just big in one country. Like it's literally big everywhere. Like everywhere is like really big for soccer. Whereas like you probably wouldn't be as known. Like if you go like somewhere in the East, they might not be able to tell you a full NBA roster. Versus like they can probably tell you who's on the United States soccer team. So I'll probably play soccer. Yeah,
I'd probably do basketball.
I thought it's not a bad one to be a pro.
Sneaker deal.
Yeah, people do sleep on that. Like
and basketball players are cashing out lately.
Yeah, NBA players, dude. Zion literally hasn't played a game yet.
He signed a sneaker deal.
And yes, bro.
He hasn't even played a game.
Signed a sneaker deal. Signed a multi-year deal with 2K. Like his advance was huge. Like dude is already. He literally has not played a game in the NBA. He's cashing out, bro.
Jordan already, bro.
That's wild.
It could be a big flop.
Yeah, I think that
Jordan stuck with him.
Yeah, that does add to the pressure of his debut, right? So that it's like a up and down side to it, but he seems like confident. He seems like he's gonna be fine. So, I mean, of course, like I don't want to judge him really quick, like off rip, just because like he needs time to adjust to the NBA setting. Because I don't care who you are, like college and the pros are gonna be different, right? You're gonna need time to adjust, but I think he'll be fine. I think he'll find his way pretty quickly. I think he's built for it. What about you, Christian? What sport?
I got two.
Okay.
I'm gonna say football,
mm-hmm.
but it's dangerous.
Yeah, I ain't trying to die.
or poker.
Oh, that's a unique one. Poker players, do they get paid much at all?
Yeah, they get. If you're winning, you're getting the bag.
So if you're not winning, basically you in poverty.
You lose. You probably lose money.
Yeah, that's tough.
I almost said boxing. But I don't want brain damage.
Exactly. I was about to say, like, boxing would be dope, but the long-term effects of boxing.
If you're like Floyd Mayweather, but without the brain damage.
You are cashing. Bro, you can literally get knocked out in some of them fights. You are literally getting cashed out.
How much did McGregor make off losing that fight? He made
he was a millionaire.
Yeah, like literally off one fight, bro. Like,
and he lost, and he still got paid.
Yeah, like you can literally get knocked out in the first round, and like you're still guaranteed a certain amount of money at the end of that fight, right? It's just it's all a matter of promo, and like I've seen like even with UFC and boxing, like combat sports in general, are sort of like taking like a sort of almost like a WWE approach. Like the promos are like a lot more animated now. Like the face-to-face meetings before the fights are like a lot more animated. There's a lot more trash talk. Like they add storylines to it, and it sells fights. Like McGregor has literally made like build his fan base off of that, like being like the guy that isn't afraid to call people out and be really like animated and theatric with how he advertises his fights, and like it pays off. Like dude's cashing out. Like probably the top. He's definitely like the top grossing UFC.
He never has to fight again.
He's way well off right now. You know, it's literally just a matter of does he want to fight? Like, is a fight worth it for him? And if the money isn't on the table, I wouldn't be fighting no more. UFC is dangerous, bro. Like people literally like break stuff and all the time. KCS Page asks, "What's the worst you've gotten sick, and how miserable were you during that time?" Bro, so I have two. So one, I was in 7th grade, and I literally almost died. Like I started having a sharp pain under my armpit one day. And I remember my mom took me to the doctor, and they didn't see any like fracture or anything. But I was playing baseball at the time, so I was like, okay, maybe I just sprained something, right? And they gave me like a little sling for my arm, and I was like, I went to school and everything, but the pain was like it never went away for like another week. I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on. And so then I went to my doctor, and my doctor sent me to the minor med, who then told me I need to go see my doctor again. And when I went to my doctor, he saw me, and I guess the minor med sent him or faxed him something that they did like a test on me or something. And he looked at it and was like, you need to go to the emergency room like right now. And so I went to the emergency room, and I remember this was like around November or something like that. It was during the fall. But I remember I went to the emergency room, and my mom didn't tell me this at the time, but she told me afterwards. She was like, the doctor like literally walked out of the room and took her out of the room one day and told her like, we don't know what to do. You need to go ahead and start making arrangements, because like we don't know, like your son is probably not gonna make it through like another 2 nights.
What the heck?
Yeah, it was wild. Shit. So they found out I had a pulmonary embolism and a staph infection at the same time. Which a pulmonary embolism is like it like eats away at your lungs and like makes you sick, and like it kills off like your body's what do you call it? Things that fight sickness off.
White blood cells.
If I like anti system. Yeah, if I talk, it feeds off your immune system and makes it to where like you just get sicker and sicker. And like I was literally dying. Like I didn't want to get up and walk. Like there was like probably TMI again, but like I literally couldn't get up to like use the bathroom. Like, I had to get somebody to carry me to go to the bathroom. It was that bad. And like I remember literally they gave me like some random antibiotics just to try stuff, and it ended up working. But it took a long time. I was out of school. Well, I told you this happened in November, right? So I was out of school for November. We had Christmas break. I was out for the rest of December and all of January. And when I finally got out, luckily my teachers were really cool, and they let me make up all the work and stuff. But I remember literally whenever it happened, when I finally got out of the hospital, I was in the hospital for like a month. Because I was at home at first, because with the sling and stuff, because they thought, like I said, I heard that they didn't want me going to school. But then I went to when I went to the hospital, I was in there for like all of January, literally, in the beginning of February, and then they sent me home on antibiotics for like an extra 2 weeks. So I was out of school for an extra 2 weeks right there. And I finally got out, and I was on antibiotics. They had to keep taking my blood every morning. I would have a nurse come to the house to take my blood and stuff and do my vitals. And finally I got over it. But that was like,
yikes.
I guess I didn't really feel like I was quote unquote dying like they thought I was, but like just to think that I was that close is like crazy. And then wild. I guess a more recent example was freshman year in December. I ended up getting mono. And if you don't know what mono is, it's
my girlfriend got mono last year. That shit's a wrap, bro.
Yeah, bro. You get it from like like mouth to mouth things. Like it can even just be like drinking after somebody, right? But if it's common if you have a girlfriend to get it. Not common, but it most
I don't know
frequently
how I
happens when
didn't
you have
get
a
it, bro.
girlfriend. Yeah,
You got mono and I didn't catch it, bro.
you're blessed. But so I ended up getting it from my ex, and I remember like, bro, I have literally like I just talked about how I told you I was like literally dying. Mono was like 10 times worse for me. Like so it your throat feels. I've never had strep throat before, but the way people were describing it to me, your throat literally feels worse than that. Like when you swallow, it will literally bring you to tears when you try to swallow anything. Like I was living off of pudding and like milkshakes for like weeks, and I got it at the worst time, right? Because it was right after our Christmas break had started. So I was literally stuck in my dorm and I couldn't go to class. And I don't know how it works at y'all's school, but like for our school, you have to go to class once in the first 2 week period in order to be counted. And if you don't show up in the first 2 weeks, like they drop you from the class, right? So I literally couldn't go to class. They wouldn't let me go, even though mono was only transferred through like saliva and stuff. Like they literally wouldn't let me go to class until I felt a little better. And so I remember missing class, and I literally sent the letter to all my professors, and two of them still dropped me from the class and wouldn't respond to my emails when I told them like, yo, like I sent you this, like you have me back. So I was just like, at that point, I wasn't a full-time student anymore because they dropped me from 2 classes. So I had to like beg professors to let me into their classes like last second. And luckily, I got into 2 more classes. But I not only is the throat thing, but like you genuinely feel so sick and so weak, bro. Like I didn't want to get up and move. Like I slept so much, bro. Like it was
Our girlfriend
terrible.
was just sleeping for like weeks.
I'm telling you, bro.
I was like, he's like, I'm not moving today. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's literally like not only is it like bad in terms of the pain, but like you literally do not want to move. Like you don't want to move at all. Just out of like you don't want to suffer through the pain. Like, I would rather sleep the pain off and sleep through my day than deal with like how bad my throat was hurting at that moment. Like I could not eat. I'm telling you, I could not eat anything. It like if you tried to swallow, you would literally be brought to tears with how bad your throat hurts. It was like I would never wish that having mono on my worst enemy, but that shit was terrible. What about you, Nick?
Dude, I got to knock on wood though. I don't get like
you don't really
bad
get
sick.
Yeah.
When I get sick, it's like 2 days and I'm good.
Mm-hmm. How do you deal with it?
The first day, I'm like, I kind of feel it. I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling great today. But I know like tomorrow's gonna be ass. The next day I'll be fine. And every time it happens, like one day I'm like, my throat's kind of sore, a little sniffly, whatever. The second day is ass.
Yeah.
My throat is dying. I've got a runny nose. I don't feel good. But the next day I'm good. Every time. I don't take I take like Tylenol for the throat pain.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's me. I'm not a really big like medicine guy. Like I usually like try to just rest it off.
I don't even take it unless I'm like dying of like the pain. Like if I'm like just it's like uncomfortable, I'll just drink water and it'll like be fine. But like I haven't gotten like bad sick. Like as for like in high school, I like never missed many days. I've never missed a single class in college.
Really?
Yeah, I've never missed a class.
Yeah, besides the mono incident, I don't think I've ever missed a day from being sick. Like after the whole 7th grade thing and then after the mono, like other than that, I don't really, like you said, I don't really get sick that often now.
I think I would get like, I was a swimmer in high school, so I would get like swimmer's ear.
Yeah.
That sucks, but it's like it's just like your ear hurts and you can't hear.
What about you, Christian?
Yeah, I'm with Nick. I don't really get sick either. I think the sickest I've been is having strep throat.
Yeah,
I never had strep.
Strep sucks.
Strep sucks.
I've heard.
It's like the only thing that is just your throat. You're dying.
Do you feel sick?
Not really. It's just your throat.
Not really. It's just your throat's dying, bro. It's like you're fine.
So was it another case like what I said with mono? Like did y'all just have to eat like pudding and like milkshakes and stuff like that?
I just drank hella water.
Yeah.
Really?
A lot of water.
I did like I guess you don't even like feel hungry, bro. You
don't even want to eat because it hurts so bad.
Yeah, you just slam.
Yeah,
I'm just slamming water.
That's tough. Yeah,
I'd rather starve if I got strep throat.
And that's another thing with me is like even when I don't have a sore throat, if I feel sick, I genuinely don't like eating, bro. Like nothing sounds good to me whenever I'm sick.
Yeah.
JB Patetti as top 3 anime. Well, you don't watch anime, Nick, so this might be a little tough for you.
I can do animated TV shows.
That's fine. Yeah, do like animated TV shows then. We can go one at a time, like 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1 again. Just to give people time to think. Okay, so my number 3. Oh god, dude. I would have to say
My Hero.
I'll get no. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Naruto. Just because like Naruto is like it was the first super long anime that I watched that was like really like drawn out, and it was literally took you like on like a journey. And like I remember especially so the original Naruto was good. I think one thing that sort of hurts Naruto for me was that was when I first started watching anime. I didn't know what fillers were. So I literally sat through every single Naruto filler that there is. Christian, I watched every single one, bruh. Like that sort of hurts it for me. I feel like because I didn't just watch like the meat of it. I watched all the fillers, and some of them were just like, why am I watching this?
Legit, a third, 3/4 of the season was filler.
Exactly, bro. So like I think that sort of hurts it for me. But other than that, like the good parts were really good. Like Pain is literally my favorite anime villain of all time. Like everything about like the Akatsuki arc is like so good. What about you, Nick?
I can only think of 2. So for my number 3, I'm actually thinking about starting a couple. So I'm just gonna say which one. I think tonight I'm actually gonna watch. There's on Netflix. It's a Godzilla anime.
Really?
And I'm a big Godzilla fan. I've watched like Godzilla my whole life. So I think I might watch that like tonight. It's a 3-part anime. Like they're like 3 like mini movies, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're anime style. And
you know what it's called?
It's just called Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
And like Godzilla's like 300 meters tall. He's like the tallest one by like 10 times ever. And then I kind of want to watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah, dude, you need to watch Dragon Ball
because the pops are cool.
Now, Christian, that's the crazy part though. Is I know plenty of people like in our inner circle that haven't seen Dragon Ball yet, and that's wild to me.
I kind of want to watch it because there's a pop I wanted to buy, but I haven't watched it, so I can't buy it.
You haven't seen a single episode?
I haven't seen any anime.
No. It's a good. So Dragon Ball is a good starter anime, and you can tell because like it's an anime that you can tell people you watched before, and they'll be like, oh, okay, that's normal. Like it's literally almost like a normal cartoon per se versus like an anime, right?
I watched like the Dragon Ball fighting game and I really liked it.
Yeah.
Like I watched like Evo of like the Dragon Ball fighters and I really enjoyed it. So I kind of want to watch the show.
Yeah, I think you really enjoy it.
You start with Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z?
No. Start with Z. You can skip Dragon Ball. Start with Z. Watch every arc in Z. And if you like Z and you move on to GT, skip the first part of GT until they introduce a character called Baby. Once Baby shows up, then you're good. But everything before that in GT,
I have to write that down.
Yeah, but that definitely, if you can start Dragon Ball, definitely start. It was really like that's
okay.
It's up there for me.
I might start watching that then.
What about you, Christian? What's your number 3?
See, I'm not gonna say Naruto because that's just too well known. I'm gonna start off with Samurai Champloo.
Oh, that's a classic. Oh,
I've heard about that one.
That's a classic.
One of the best soundtracks of an anime ever.
100%. That and Cowboy Bebop, bro. Cowboy Bebop had a fire soundtrack too.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't? You gotta watch Cowboy Bebop.
I've heard about those two.
Yeah, you gotta watch Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, Samurai Champloo is very like, I don't know. It doesn't get the recognition it deserves.
Oh, 100%. I agree. But I think it's because like that and Cowboy Bebop came out at a time where anime wasn't like as prevalent and like acceptable in like Western civilization. Stuff like if they were ahead of the time basically. Like they were so good, but a lot of people don't want to go back and revisit that stuff because it's not new. You know what I mean? And it looks older. Like the art style, right? Yeah, exactly. Like if you go back and watch it, it looks old compared to like new animations, right? But yeah, that's a really good one. I didn't even think about that one. My number 2 is probably I'm gonna go with so I have a tie, right? So number 2 is either My Hero or Dragon Ball. So I don't care what you say, My Hero. So it's actually funny, right? Because when I first started My Hero Academia, I almost stopped watching it after a couple episodes, and it's because Deku was such a crybaby at the beginning of the show, bro. That dude
that's every anime though.
No, it's not, bro. This dude cried over everything. But Naruto cried, but like I feel like his crying was like warranted. You know, like he was literally bullied, like ostracized from his class, like all the time, right? As a kid, and, like that's stuff that would make anybody cry as a kid, right? But like this dude, like somebody told you you didn't have powers, like half the population doesn't have powers, and you crying over that, bro. I was like, I'm about to lose it, bro. Like I almost stopped, but I'm so glad that I kept going in that show because that show is so good and the villains are so good. And
when it's done,
yeah, this season is apparently supposed to be like really, really dark. The one that's coming up, so I'm really excited for it. But like, so one thing that makes or breaks animes for me is like the villains, right? So like part of the reason I started Sword Art Online and part of the reason I didn't like it is because the villains sucked to me. Like there was no story behind it. It was literally just like boss fights, quote unquote, right? And like I think one of the things that makes anime so good is the villains and like how much of a backstory they have and like how sometimes you can even empathize with them, right? And so I really, My Hero does villains like to a T, like perfectly to me. I really enjoy it. And then with Dragon Ball, like it's literally self-explanatory. Like it's Dragon Ball. I grew up on Dragon Ball. Like some of my favorite villains come from that show too. It has some of the best character development with characters like Vegeta, Piccolo, stuff like that. Like the memes that come from Dragon Ball are hilarious. It's just like all around, it's like a really, really, really good show. And I think it's easy to enjoy. Like when my ex, like I was sitting down and watched like the newer series, Dragon Ball Super that came out like last year or the year before, and like she would sit there and watch it and get into it like instantly. Like she sort of watched it with me during the Tournament of Power arc, and like she enjoyed it. Like she watched the entire thing like through with me, that whole arc. So I think it's a really good starter anime, and I think it's such a good anime to like get in. Like if you've never watched anime before, it's so easy to get into, and I think that's part of the reason like I really enjoy it. Like because it opened up anime to me as like a whole new world. Like I probably, if I didn't watch Dragon Ball, I probably would have never gave anime a chance, and like it opened up anime for me. So what's your number 2, Nick?
I'm actually gonna say 2 because I thought of another one.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say Pokemon.
Okay.
Lit. And then
Don't say Digimon.
I was gonna say Young Justice.
Oh, Young Justice is actually really fire. People sleep on that show.
It's real good.
Young Justice came at a time where I guess we were sort of like, that was like our cool phase where like you were too cool to watch cartoons and stuff like that. Like a lot of people sort of slept on it and didn't watch it, but I personally like Young Justice more than I like the Justice League cartoon when we were growing up. Like Young Justice was really, really good.
I never got to finish Young Justice, which I'm mad about because they took it off Netflix.
I never got to finish it either, actually.
I started it late, so I only got like to like the first season.
Yeah.
I never got to watch the rest of it, and I was actually kind of pissed.
I got to the part where like Black Manta like turned on them or whatever.
I don't even think I got that far. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's literally, that was it. That's as far as I got, and then I didn't keep watching. I wish I would have finished it. It's really, really good. The characters are really good. There's a really good character development. Like I said, I would put it just over the Justice League cartoon and a little under Teen Titans because I still think Teen Titans is like the best
Teen Titans
one.
Yeah, Titans was goaty.
What about you, Christian?
Sergio, I already know what your number 1 gonna be, but
you actually don't. That's the crazy part. You gonna be surprised what my number 1 is.
Okay. I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say Tokyo Ghoul and Parasite the Maxim.
I don't think I haven't seen Parasite.
Parasite, it's another short series, but like it's very underrated. Nobody knows. I don't think anybody knows much about it, but like they have great soundtrack too, and the storyline is very, very good.
What was the first movie? Tokyo Ghoul was like, it was one of those that was like so weird that I was worried about starting it, but like the payoff of it, like it's really weird. Like it's definitely not an anime I would recommend people to start out with, but like it's really weird at the beginning and like pretty much all throughout the season. But that last episode, like when he like evolves, bruh, the payoff, that's one of the best payoffs of any anime I've ever seen. Like, it was actually crazy.
The fight with him?
Yes, dude.
The guy?
Yeah.
With the music playing in the back?
Yes, dude. That's another one that has another underrated soundtrack. That like the music in that show is really good.
But see, the soundtrack is what makes a great anime too.
Yeah, 100%. Because like we were talking about like how Pain was such a good villain, and like part of that is like the music that plays in the background when Pain shows up is like, you know, he's a big deal. Same thing with Dragon Ball, like when the music that plays whenever Cell used to come up on the screen, like you knew like that person is a big deal. So like it's always like really important, I feel like. But my number one, you probably thought it was gonna be Attack on Titan.
I thought it was gonna be.
See, Attack on Titan is not even in my top 3. Only because the recent seasons, like, they have had really like high peaks and they like have really good moments. But like the season in its entirety has some like episodes that are just like a drag to get through. Just for the sake of like developing the story. What do you mean? You don't think Attack on Titan has some dull episodes, bro?
Every episode. I mean, of course, it's gonna have a dull episode.
Yeah, because you have to build the story right. But I feel like Attack on Titan in particular, like this season has sort of just been like a whole history lesson. Like, it was like literally like a history lesson, and I get it. Like it had to happen eventually. That we had to know like all this stuff, where the Titans came from and all that. Like it's important, right? But I don't know what they could have done. They could have did something to make it more interesting, bro. Because sometimes it was a drag, dude.
You ain't even there yet. Like I read the manga and we ain't even. Like they're about to get into the history next season. And it's probably gonna be the worst one. It's probably gonna like no action at all.
Oh my god, bro. See, like that's tough.
I'm not ready for it,
but my number one is actually a very recent one, and it was super short. I think they're bringing it back for the second season. But
you talking about the one you was talking about last week,
bro? The Promised Neverland.
Oh
my god! When I tell you, like, so this, first of all, this is like the first. So back in the day, my old friend Jayla used to tell me about horror anime, right? It's like another subgenre of an anime. And I always thought like that. It's weird. Like how are you watching like the Christian Year Echo?
My bad.
But it's like, yeah, you're gonna. I was like that's such a weird like subgenre of anime to watch. Like horror. Like I don't want to be scared when I'm watching anime, right? But this show was it was horror, but it was also like a thriller. So it's about these kids. All I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna spoil it just in case anybody listening wants to watch, or anybody watching wants to watch it, and y'all need to watch it too. But it was like you need to.
Now.
I just like scary shit, bro.
I promise it's not like super scary to the point where you're not gonna watch it, but it's scary in the fact that it's so like suspenseful, right? And it's about these kids, and they start off in an orphanage, and like all they know.
Don't say too much for real.
Yeah, I'm not. They're in an orphanage, and all they know is that they have like numbers like tattooed on it's either on their forearm or their neck. I can't remember. And they find out like a really big revelation in the first episode about their existence, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, you have to watch it. I'm telling you, like every single episode, you were sitting at the edge of your seat, like, oh my god, like what is about to happen? And it's like it's crazy.
It's only 12 episodes.
I'm telling you, it's short, it's to the point, and like it hits home, bro. Like and like, I think I almost cried in one of the episodes. It was so good. And then like the soundtrack is really good. It has one of the best opening themes I've ever heard out of any anime. Like I literally listened to it at the gym. And then like there's the crazy part is like usually I'm the type of guy that only likes anime that has like action in it. And while this does have action, it's mostly just suspense and like character development and like mystery. But like they do it so freaking well, and the animation is so good. Like I can't praise it enough. I can't remember who put me onto it. I think I saw it on Twitter or something, but whoever put me onto it, thank you. It's 100% my favorite anime of all time, and I really hope they bring it back for season 2. So Nick, what's your number one?
Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
I've heard that that's pretty good.
It's fire.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So like one thing Cartoon Network used to do a good job of was like advertising the episodes and like the little mini commercials that used to come on. Like they used to make it look so good, but I was just like, I don't watch Star Wars.
Were so lit.
Yeah.
That show, I think they're taking it off Netflix soon because the Disney Plus thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The next, they're bringing it back for one final season because they canceled it when Disney bought Star Wars.
Yeah.
They canceled it on Cartoon Network and they just stopped making it. So there's supposed to be another season, and they're making the last and final season is going to be on the Disney Plus streaming thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking it off Netflix, but I think they're just going to put it up on there. And like there's just like you have like the first 6 seasons, but then also on Netflix there's a 7th thing. It's called like the bonus episodes. Where they do this other arc, and that arc like it has such big ramifications on like the actual like movies.
Yeah.
It's insane. It explains like so much about that you don't get. And like seeing that show, like everyone hates the first 3 Star Wars, like not like the first 3 that came out, but like 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone like hates on them because they kind of feel rushed because they had to get to this point in this amount of time in order for the original 3 to make sense.
Yeah.
They just kind of rush through shit to get to this point in 3 movies.
Mm.
But like the show explains everything and lets you see the characters and see how they interact with people like on a smaller basis, like going on like just a mission.
Yeah.
Like just a random mission, not like this battle will end the war.
Mm-hmm.
Go to it for the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this mission is to capture this base to give us a strategic advantage in this system to help get us closer there.
Mm-hmm.
There's just all like smaller scales stuff with also big scale stuff with like they explore like like there's also like someone has like it's like a theory like a fan have they like explore it in like an episode.
Like a fan theories?
It was like people had theories like back in the day about stuff.
Yeah.
Like how things worked. Like people
had
like
theories in the movies.
How it worked. Yeah, like in the movies. But then in the show they actually like explore and like explain how things work.
Oh, okay.
And you get to see it play out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real good. If you watch the first 6 Star Wars if you watch all the Star Wars and you enjoy them, you should watch the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
If you haven't. Yeah.
And like I said, it looked like a show based on the commercials and stuff. I feel like if I was into Star Wars, I probably would enjoy it. It looked really good.
It's so good.
What's your number 1, Christian?
Attack on Titan.
I thought you were like earlier. You were like all the episodes drag or something like that.
I mean, no, not really. But I mean, Attack on Titan is just. I want to say Naruto, but I don't want to keep it. I don't want to make it too plain.
Yeah, I can put that. So
like, I really do enjoy Attack on Titan. You know, it keeps me. Like when I first started it, I was like, "What am I getting into?"
Yeah,
every cliffhanger. You know, I'm eager to watch the rest. You know,
right? Yeah.
For season 3, I was like, I didn't even want to watch one episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it comes out every week.
Yeah, it makes you want to like not watch and just like so you can binge them, right? Yeah. So, like I do praise Attack on Titan for like being really good at their cliffhangers, but like I think the only anime that I've seen that does it better is The Promised Neverland. I think when you watch it, you'll definitely like you'll see. But like
I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, other than that, like Attack on Titan's cliffhangers are really, really good. And like I said, literally the only reason I can't put it in my top 3 is just because of like the drag episodes. Yeah, season 3. But at the same time though, season 3 has some really, really big highs. And when there was action in it, season 3 was fire.
Levi?
Yes, bruh. Oh my god. But like like the whole like not spoiling anything, but like the Beast Titan part where he like bruh.
He's my favorite character. Like since I seen him in season 1, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be a badass.
That's one of my favorite anime like moments of all time. Like that past season, like where he went rogue on like the Beast Titan. That was like so dope.
His little storyline is pretty good.
Yeah.
Story thing.
But like Attack on Titan, like from that first episode, like the first episode is sort of weird because like there's no action in it and it's just sort of like foggy on what you're really watching, and then like at the end, like it just hits you.
Oh, okay.
Cause you know, like it sort of drags and it's mostly about developing the characters and stuff, and then at the end, like when that moment happens, it's like, and like after that, like you're sucked in. Like I watched the first episode, and at the beginning I was sort of like, and then like when I've tried to get people to watch it with me, like rewatch it, like girlfriends and stuff, like they sort of have always been like, like at the beginning because it's sort of slow, but then at the end they're like, yo, I gotta keep watching. The
first episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, something really important happened in the first
episode. At the end of the first episode, like you know what happened. So like it like that like after that part is when people are sort of like, okay, I need to keep watching it.
Yeah.
So okay, so I there's an anime that's out right now that's sort of new that you think has the qualities or like the capabilities to become like that GOAT in that GOAT conversation, like eventually. I say My Hero.
My Hero, yeah.
I also think you haven't seen Demon Slayer yet, have you?
Nah.
There's a new one called Demon Slayer that's really, really good, and I found out about that because a lot of COD pros are talking about it, and I think that it has like the sort of like the inspirational like Naruto level like protagonist that is like really, really, and it's another one that has like the first episode like has that cliffhanger that just has you like I gotta keep watching.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely like I'm watching it now and it definitely has the quality, the capabilities to become like that at that level. It's really, really good.
I'm mad that they kind of messed up. Like, I mean, I don't want to keep dragging it on, but
yeah,
they kind of messed up One Punch Man for me.
Really?
Season 2.
Why?
I don't know. Like they kind of went overboard with like the sound, like the quality of the anime. Like I still enjoy the story and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like some things were unnecessary, like the extra loud bass that accompany speakers for no reason. Like it's just over exaggerated. I think it's just the poor sound quality that they have throughout the show.
For me, with One Punch Man, my biggest thing coming out of season 1 was like, okay, I'm gonna get annoyed if like the story is completely focused on Saitama, only because like he doesn't lose. So like I don't want to watch an entire anime off a character that literally does not lose. Like that's not fun, right?
That's why I think that's why I like season 2 better. It's just
right. Because they introduce more characters and there's more character development, right? Like we get introduced to more of the heroes. Like you get to they talk about Genos a lot more. They talk about even what's the dude's name, the hero killer or whatever. What's the dude's name? I can think of his name.
Garo or something.
Yeah. Like even with him, like stuff like that is like really dope because like you're not just like stuff like that. But like I could definitely see that. I know a lot of people are complaining about that season, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Last question from the same person. Who is in the running for album of the year in hip hop, and why do you think they are? He said personally it's Cordae, but that's just me. I guess if I had to give like my 3 favorite ones so far this year, YB and Cordae is definitely. I think he's number 1 right now. That Cordae album was something else. I really, really enjoyed it, and I think for a debut album, like to rap the way he was and to sound that mature already, was like it was something else. Like I really enjoyed that. Also I think the Dreamville album is gonna be up there. I really enjoyed that one. That was another one of the really like big albums this year. I really, really enjoyed. I enjoy the rapping is good, the production is really good. And then actually I'm gonna say Denzel Curry Zoo. I think that was a really good album. I think a lot of people sort of slept on it, but I think it's one that's sort of it's grown on me especially because at first I was just like, oh, it's a pretty good album, but like now that I've sat down with it for like a month or so and listened back to it, like top to bottom, it's a really good album. And then if I had to give one more like an honorable mention, I would probably say Polo G. Polo G had a really good album. It was another one that sounded like really mature for his age. Like he's literally him and YB and Cordae are younger than us and are already putting out like more like complex and like more music with better subject matter than a lot of rappers that are older than them and like can't piece together like a song with a decent concept. So there's probably like the 3 or 4 for me that I think are at the top of the conversation right now. And we still have half a year. That's the crazy part. Like there's still plenty of people that have to drop albums this year. What about y'all?
That shit's tough for me because like I only listen to like 3 people. Like I listen to all their shit.
Yeah.
And so Logic shit was ass. I don't know when Jack's album came out.
Jack Harlow?
Come out? When did Loose come out?
Came out last year, didn't you, Christian? Because you and Ben put me on to Jack Harlow.
Oh yeah, that was last year.
That was last year.
So that doesn't even count.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I just discovered him a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I listened to like. Then other than like those 2, I just listened to like singles. Like I'll just add a song to my playlist. So like.
Yeah. You're not an album guy. So what do you think is like your favorite like hip hop song this year?
What's in your rotation?
I gotta pull up my playlist. Hold on.
Song rotation. That should have been.
I gotta pull up my playlist.
Well, we used to do that. We used to have a segment called like songs of the week or something like that, and we would go over like 3 songs like that we recently added to our playlist and like why we like it, why like people should listen to it. We could bring that back maybe next week. That'd be dope. Cause I like it's literally on like with hip hop. It's so weird because like I feel like there's no other genre that has as much music like as we do. Like literally, you could go on like the new music tab of like the hip hop section every like Thursday night and like find a new like artist to listen to, a new album to listen to. Like it's actually wild.
Especially with genres too.
Young Sinatra was last year, right? Or was that this year? When did Young Sinatra 4 come out?
That was.
I thought this was in like winter of this year.
Was that this year?
Like February or something.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know. His last album just left such a bad taste in my mouth that I don't even.
If I'm gonna count Young Sinatra 4, because that's the only shit I listen to.
I didn't think Young Sinatra 4 was that bad of an album.
I like Wu-Tang Forever a lot.
Okay, that's a good one.
I like 100 Miles and Running a lot.
So like Young Sinatra 4 was I think the closest to like us getting into like the old Logic in terms of like mixtape Logic, Under Pressure Logic.
I listen to Young Sinatra all the time. I love that.
But the crazy thing is like I knew that Logic wasn't gonna last long just because it was one of his lowest selling albums like he's ever had. It might be the lowest actually. And it's like
shit like came out and then no one talked about it.
Nobody talked about it ever because like his newer fan base doesn't appreciate that kind of stuff, right? Like his like raw hip hop shit. And like it sucks because like I heard it and I was like, this is like as close as we're gonna get because this isn't gonna sell well.
If he could build on that,
right?
Like just take that style and like keep building, like it's stuff. It's like a good. It's like not a bad album at all. It's just
but like I literally just knew
it's not selling.
As soon as it didn't sell, I was like, he's gonna go back to doing his poppy like pop rap.
I like Keanu Reeves. That song wasn't bad.
But that's the one song out of like I forgot how much
like that album was like whack. Like that album was awful.
Yeah. What about you,
Christian? I just don't listen to many albums. I don't know.
I don't have any. I haven't been like. Let's see. I'm gonna go through my thing right now.
Okay, same to you then. What's like your favorite song? Like what's in the running for your top songs of the year then?
Top song of the year. I'm gonna have to go with.
Well, I think for both of us, if Cardi does drop his album like he says he's going to, I think that's gonna like shoot up. That's gonna shoot up.
What?
Yeah, that's gonna shoot up to the top real quick.
Wait,
I'm really excited for Cardi's album.
I've been listening to Pierre's album a lot.
I didn't like his album, bro. I guess I just don't like him as a rapper. Like I love his beats. I love Pierre Bourne's beats, but like as a rapper, I don't think he should like.
He got a couple on there. He got like 4 or 5 that I really
you gotta send me the ones that you like, cause I started listening to it and I was like I can't get with this, bro. I don't like it.
Yeah, like the first one, like the number 1, and then 1 through 7. No, 2 through 7 is booty to me.
Yeah,
so that's a lot.
But you don't have any songs that you just really mess with this year?
That came out this year, not really.
Really? I got a couple, bro. I can give you 5 off top. So one of my favorites this year, cause like so it sucked when Nipsey Hussle died for me personally, just because I found out about Nipsey like not right before his death, but a couple months before it. I found out about his album Victory Lap because he was on the new music tab of like Apple Music back when Apple Music instead of Spotify, and like his album was always at like the top because they rank them by like what's like hot, and so like, his album was at the top for like weeks, and I was like, who is this Nipsey Hussle dude? And so I listened to his album and I really enjoyed it. And so after he died this year, DJ Khaled released a song with him and John Legend called Higher. And that song right there hit so hard, bro, after his death. Like, it literally, if you listen to that song, it literally sounds like a going away song. Like, it sounds like that was meant to be his last song, like, ever, right? Also, let's see, 4 more. I would say,
I have something to say when you're done.
Lost Files by Polo G. It's the intro to his album, and I really, really enjoyed it. Like, he was rapping his ass off on that song. I think it was really good. I would add Magic by Lil Skies is actually a newer song that just came out. And Lil Skies has sort of become like sort of stagnant to me in a way, I guess. Whereas like he seems like he needs to evolve his sound a little bit. And Magic is the first time where I've heard him. You can clearly hear like the Travis Scott influence in it, but I think he does it really well. Ransom by Lil Tecca. Ransom by Lil Tecca is a song that like at first I was like, I don't see what people like in this song, but like, hey, that song rides, bro. I'm sorry, that song rides. I think another thing that helps Lil Tecca is the fact that like he doesn't try too hard to be like the stereotypical like cool rapper. Like he's okay with being like a nerdy looking dude, and like I like that. And then lastly is a newer song, Mac 10 by Trippie Redd with a Lil Baby in it. And Trippie Redd's album actually drops Friday, and like Trippie Redd is another artist that I know like has talent and can make good music, but sometimes he just falls like short like completely. Like with Trippie Redd, it's either I really like the song or I don't like it like at all. And with I think it is because the singles he's had leading up to this, which was what was the first one? I can't.
Enemy's Arms.
Enemy Arms, yeah, Under Enemy Arms. Was hard, and then this one, I don't know if you heard this one, Mac 10, but this one goes. The beat on this is so fire.
He got with this new producer, and like they've been dropping snippets.
Really?
Like, this new producer, he's like dope.
Yeah, I don't know who the producer is that produced Mac 10, but that song goes hard. So Mac 10 is really good. So those are probably songs that I think I really enjoy. What were you about to say, Christian?
Igor. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, Igor is like at the top of everybody's conversation. Just because like, so I don't think so. Now that I've listened to Igor a lot more, I had time to sit with it. I don't think it's anything that's like just super like innovative or like it's just different, right? So like we're not used to hearing that kind of like soulful sound out of our rappers nowadays. And so like when Tyler takes something like this like really distorted and like makes soulful like singing music off it, and it was I guess one thing that also really helped it was like it was completely different from the rest of Tyler's discography. Like if you listen to Cherry Bomb and then go to the stuff on Igor, bro, you like this right, this you like this is not the same two people. Like it cannot be. So I think that also really helped Tyler's album. But it's a really, really dope album, and like I didn't expect it to sound like that, but like it was a breath of fresh air, because like a lot of times like it's easy to, I don't want to sound like the typical like all rap sounds the same, because it doesn't, but like rap has like its cadence now and its feel to it, and like that Igor was a nice switch from that typical like rap routine that we've been so accustomed to for the past few years.
Yeah,
so I really enjoy that. That's a good one. But I think that's gonna cut it for this episode, guys. We appreciate you guys listening and watching on YouTube. Once again, if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Leave us comments in the comment section below. If you guys have any topics you want us to talk about, and also follow me on Twitter. If you guys wish to participate in the Q&A portion, like I said, we picked the best 5 questions that we can find out of the replies of the tweets that I put out. Make sure you follow my 2 lovely guests. You can see their Twitters are above their names right now. At stainless_us and at ULT Jutsu. And if you're listening on Apple Podcast app or Spotify, make sure you leave us a like, a rating, and a review. Make sure you subscribe and share it with your friends. We really appreciate you guys listening. Thanks for all the questions and all the support. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Yep.